In a world teeming with supernatural claims, from aliens and ghosts to cryptids, religions, and other unexplained phenomena, enter Captive Desk, that offers a skeptic's perspective. Join us for engaging discussions, opinions, scientific analysis, and a dash of humor as we delve into the unknown, unravel the mysterious, and confront the otherworldly as we seek to distinguish fact from fiction at the Captive Desk. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Night Watch. I'm going to try something new here for the evening crowd and maybe folks more on the West Coast and in other places around the world. A lot of times I'm on earlier in the day, especially with answers in atheism and everything. And thought I'd try some evening stuff. Often in the evenings here, it's quiet. This is usually when I'm editing videos or getting stuff ready for Saturdays and stuff like that, you know. So I just thought, we'll see how it works out. If anybody's out and about, give me a shout. If you want to stop by, let me know. I'll get you a link, whatever's going on out there. Yeah, I got some short videos. Thought I'd take a look and chit chat a little bit with folks. This Saturday, just a reminder for everybody, Saturday night at the Atheist is going to start an hour earlier. Joe's having his fundraiser and it's at 7 o'clock. Usually we wrap up about 8 o'clock. So we want to go over there and support Joe and everything and help him out. So we're going to do a little adjustment this week, and everybody go hang out over there and support the ARC Protest fundraiser. And if you need info on that, we'll be letting you know all about that on Saturday. Go to the Kentucky Atheist. He's got all kind of links and info in the description and everything. So, what is this? Do ye? Wow. Semantically understand, a word I can't understand. Ultimate finitism equivocates viciously. Spiralises unified, conditional, unconditional aseity. Wow, that's a mouthful. No idea. No idea. So I wanted to run some videos. If I don't see anybody really here. Want to do a sound check on them and everything. So we'll just see how it goes. Pull something up here. Give me 1 minute. All right, let's see. See if I've got my settings right here. Get it up. All right, cool. I'm going to give this a try. If anybody's out there, let me know if you can hear it.
Atheists always get mad at me when I call atheism a religion, but if you think about it, the Big Bang, that's your God. Is that explosion somehow created everything? So what makes more sense is that nothing created everything or that something created everything. I live in this house right here, and you would think I was crazy if I were to say, hey, this house just popped into existence. No, I don't see the builder anymore, but I know that someone had to build this house. And so that's why I believe that atheism is a religion, and this is what's being taught in schools. And I think it makes more sense fundamentally that something had to create everything. Subscribe to Bible Explored for more.
Yeah, sound check. I don't see anybody joining. A little quiet out there. All right. We're going to address, he's addressing atheism as a religion. And no, it's just not. And that atheists believe something had to come from nothing. And no, we don't believe that either. I wish I could run it here.
What makes more sense is that nothing created everything or that
nothing created everything. I don't think nothing created everything.
something created everything. I live in this house right here, and you would think I was crazy if I were to say, hey, this house just popped into existence.
We know how houses are built. So, you can check that out and find out how a house is built. You can watch a house be built. You can see photographs of all the stages of a house being built. I stop the stupidity. Let me know if my volume's okay and if you can hear this video, because I'm checking my settings here. I had some sound issues recently.
No, I don't see the builder anymore, but I know that someone had to build this house. And so that's why I believe that atheism is a religion, and this is what's being taught in schools. And I think it.
You hear the video too? Hopefully. All right. I don't know what he's talking about that's being taught in schools. Atheism is being taught in schools that, no, I don't. No, try again.
It makes more sense fundamentally that something had to create everything. Subscribe to Bible Explored for.
Sure, it makes sense that things are created by something, but we also know that common sense things don't always come into play, especially when you start talking about physics and quantum physics and stuff that's way beyond my level. Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't make any sense to us. Tough, right? Sometimes, well, a lot of times probably, your common sense isn't right. Now, there's nothing wrong with going with a gut feeling. We do have a lot of senses that kind of, warn us maybe somebody's following us or something, but when it comes to overruling physics or something, your common sense doesn't count. So, sorry. And yeah, I've got, I'm always looking for videos, content creators. We look around and I'm always looking for interesting stuff for Saturdays, And a lot of these videos I'd like to address, but it is a lot of work to make a video just to address something like this. So I thought, I've got such a list of these. I'll just go through some of them and just, I'll answer them. And if any theists or even atheists, whatever, if you got a question for me, drop it and, we'll try to answer your questions. All right, so let's go to the next video in the queue here.
For more.
I can disprove Christianity in 60 seconds, and it all starts with one question for Christians. If the Bible is the Word of God, why are there so many contradictions in the Bible? For example, the Bible says that Earth was created before the stars, but then also it says the stars were created before the Earth.
I always feel bad for these people because they really think that they are going to disprove a religion that's been going on for thousands of years by a simple misconception.
I didn't think he said misconception. He said contradictions. It's supposed to be a divine book, right? From God. And one of the arguments is, why are there errors, contradictions, people in different places at the same times? Now, I think it's a fair argument if you're going to claim that your book is divinely inspired, right? Let's see what he has to say, because he already feels sorry for us. So, okay.
Well, we know that God makes no mistakes.
You know that God makes no mistakes. I don't know how you know that. Far as I know, any claims about God from the Bible kind of contradict the Bible that says you cannot know the mind of God. Who are you to question God? Mysterious ways of God. So, maybe God is. Who knows? From this argument, at least.
But men do. Guess which one wrote the Bible? Literally wrote the Bible. Men.
Okay. Well, as the Bible and the Quran, I guess, and the Old Testament, Judaism, all that, as far as I know, is divinely inspired. A lot of it, God spoke to people. God sent prophets and angels and all kind of people with the word. And supposedly there's a divine inspiration, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, that aided these people when they wrote the books of the Bible. So if that is true and they were divinely inspired, then you do have to lay the blame back on God. I think that argument fails pretty bad. We'll give it one more shot here.
I can disprove Christianity in 60 seconds, and it all starts with one question for Christians. If the Bible is the Word of God, why are there so many contradictions in the Bible? For example, the Bible says that Earth was created before the stars, but then also it says the stars were created before the Earth.
I always feel bad.
Okay, so he's got legitimate contradictions in the Bible. And right away, this person here with he got a Bass Pro Shop, okay, fisherman guy, is he already feels bad, which that doesn't set a good tone.
For these people because they really think that they are going to disprove a religion that's been going on for
it doesn't disprove the entire religion. It's just pointing out that there are problems with it, especially if you're going to claim that it's a divinely inspired book. So you can question, is it really divinely inspired? And according to the fisherman here, he's going to conclude that no, men wrote that book. So it can have errors in it, is what I'm getting out of it. Let's see if you get the same thing when he says it here.
For thousands of years by a simple misconception. Well, we know that God makes no mistakes, but men do. Guess which one wrote the Bible? Literally wrote the Bible. Men.
All right. So men make mistakes. Men wrote the Bible. There are mistakes in the Bible. All right, young fisherman there. I'll have to agree with you on that point. I don't think God wrote it, and I think you're saying that men wrote it. God didn't write it. So maybe they got some things wrong. Let's grant that God passed a word along. Maybe they didn't remember it right. Maybe they didn't hear it right. Maybe. Just saying. Let's see what we got next in the. Oh yes, I love this gentleman's voice. Let's see what he has to say.
Knowing this first, that in the last days scoffers shall come and saying, where is the promise of his coming? And for all things continues the verse from the creation of the world. And he says they're ignorant of that, willingly ignorant, that the world has already been destroyed.
Okay, well, you see, the promise of the Messiah's return is what they were looking for, and the scoffers were right to scoff because he didn't come back, at least not yet. But he's got a grand slam evidence here.
God can never come in judgment. He's already done it. Have you ever heard of Noah? There was a worldwide flood.
I'm Pastor Joshua.
Oh my goodness.
Knowing this.
All right. So his proof is there was a global flood and Noah's Ark. Magic Zoo boat, I make jokes about it because it's ridiculous, okay? There's no Magic Zoo boat and there was no global flood. Sorry. There's just no evidence of it in anything, okay? The geological layers show different environments. There's not just one environment. So you had different environments come and go over and over and over through the eons of time. Nope, no global flood. So that's your best evidence. And just the way he says it, like, haven't you heard of Noah? There was a global flood. I've heard of Noah, and a lot of us have heard the story of Noah. There was no global flood. Floods do happen, and a lot of people point out there's flood stories in a lot of places and a lot of cultures all around the world, and that's usually because people tend to live by water, okay? So you have flood stories. Sure, no global flood, absolutely no Magic Zoo boat. There just wasn't. And I think we're going to come back to that pretty soon. But these little shorties like this, like it's a little gotcha, like, haven't you heard of Noah? Like it's really happened. That's really weak. But I love the way he talks. I just love hearing him talk. Okay. And again, if anybody's out there, got a question, drop me a question, ask an atheist. I'm answering these videos. Like I said earlier, folks just joining, run into a lot of these videos, and to do a response video, it's a lot of work. So I thought some of these little ones, and there's so many of them on the, there's so many of them you come across. I just thought I'd run through some of them for fun and for the night crowd, because we're here at the Night Watch, because usually I'm on earlier in the day or sometimes in the evenings, but usually it's during the days. So I thought I would get on for the folks that are up late or maybe, West Coast or whatever, right? Say howdy and, have a little chat. Stop the Stupidity is a new member. Wow. Thank you very much, Stop the Stupidity. Stop the Stupidity became a YouTube member. Much appreciated. And speaking of, Captive Desk has memberships now. So feel free to drop a membership, 99 cents. You get Bigfoot emojis. I've been promising Bigfoot emojis, so you know I'll be hanging out here for a little while. Stop Stupidity. Much appreciated. Thank you. And yeah, so you can drop some Bigfoot emojis, and I'll make adjustments to it. I just got this started. Hit the 500 subscribers, and YouTube said, "Hey, you can have some goodies." So I'm like, "Oh, sweet, right?" So we got the emojis as promised, and the way I understand it, as you pick up members, you get more emojis. And I love Bigfoot, so we'll have Bigfoots and maybe some other cryptids and stuff like that, right? Yeah, and spam with the emojis. Look at that. Oh, I love it. We got everything there from Stop the Stupidity in the chat. That just made my day. It really did. So yeah, welcome, and yeah, we'll have some extra stuff for the members and everything coming and all that, and so good times coming. Okay, and all right, man, you distracted me, man. That was just fun. That was so fun. My first member. Thank you. That's really great. I'll ruin this one more time just to make sure we heard it right.
This first, that in the last days scoffers shall come and saying, where is the promise of his coming? And for all things continues the verse from the creation of the world. And he says they're ignorant of that, willingly ignorant, that the world has already been destroyed. You say God can never come in judgment. He's already done it. Have you ever?
And yeah, see, no, that wasn't it at all. Okay, again, I think I heard that right. They were expecting the Messiah to come back, not the judgment. The judgment had already happened. The Messiah is after the flood. So no, they expected Jesus to be the Messiah and for him to fulfill the messianic prophecies, right? And they were right to scoff because he died. So, sorry. All right. Nope. We'll give that one a dud. If I'm wrong, though, feel free to correct me. I mean, I'm just a regular guy here. Okay. I'm just listening to what these folks say. I have a little bit of understanding of religions and stuff because I've talked about them for so many years and I've read the texts and everything, I'm far from having it memorized or anything like that. So if I get something wrong, call me out. All right. And let's see here. What's next in the queue?
Ever heard of Noah? There was a worldwide flood.
I'm Pastor Joshua Taft from True Words Baptist Church in Louisville, Kentucky,
Okay.
and this is Soul Winning Secrets.
All right. I love secrets. Everybody loves secrets, right? Everybody loves secrets, right? Wow. And you gifted Captive Desk memberships too. Man. Much love, Stop the Stupidity. Much love, much appreciated. And let me see. So we got Tilting Windmill and Michael and Claire and Scott Duke and the Left-Handed Jedi. Much appreciated. And everybody, feel free to use those emojis because I was just dying to get the emojis. That's awesome. Okay, I forgot where I was again, but that's okay. Thank you very much. You just made my evening. You really did. Okay, what was Pastor saying again? Let me see here.
Winning secrets.
Oh, yeah, secrets. We love secrets. I love secrets. Okay, secrets. Here we go.
From the scriptures to the streets, we live soul winning. Let's go fishing for men.
Oh, okay.
How to reach an atheist. Speaking to the skeptical heart.
This is the part I like. Okay. This is talking to me. Here we go.
So atheists have struggles within themselves.
I think we all have struggles within ourselves, Pastor. Pretty generic statement, but yeah, sure, I'll grant it to you.
They aren't always arrogant. Many
Well, okay. Not always arrogant, but this next part here.
are wounded, disillusioned, or angry.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I tell people all the time, I know people have had issues, and my heart goes out to you. But pretty much, I had a normal childhood. My parents got divorced, but it was when I was older, and they were still friends and everything. There was, just some issues there. But no, I had a good childhood in the suburbs. We had toys and food in the house, and we went to church. No problems at church. It was a very nice church. I made macaroni art like all the other kids did, and we had a good time. And I went in Cub Scouts, no problems. I know there's been problems. I have no problems. Of course, my parents were involved. They were, there. So, but didn't have any issues. We didn't hear about things. You would hear rumors and stuff, but most of us, in the neighborhood at least, it was pretty tight. Other neighbors watched out for the kids and everything and stuff. So none of these hard luck things or being angry or abused or anything apply to me. So nope. But again, my heart goes out to people. I understand people have lots of stories about things, but nope, not angry at anybody at church or God or none of those kind of things, and no reason to be.
And they often reject God not because of evidence, but because of experiences that they've had. So don't.
Once again, addressing this, what are my experiences, right? I went to church. I don't know what else to say. No experiences. God didn't talk to me. Sorry. And then I just kind of outgrew going to church, right? Went on to other things, started getting older, we started driving and dating and going to concerts and hitting the road and going places, I was busy, and it was just kind of an outgrown thing.
Don't go straight into science debates. Ask questions that dig deeper. Like,
Okay.
Where do you find purpose? If death ends everything, what makes life meaningful?
Exactly that. Because if we believe that death is the end of life, that gives life that much more meaning, because you better enjoy it now. So you explained yourself, Pastor. You answered your own question.
And if God isn't real, Why are you so angry at him?
Okay, this is where I left a comment. I asked him, why are you angry at Bigfoot? And he said, well, it depends on the Bigfoot, but I don't think I'm angry at him. And I said, well, I think that's kind of the point of my comment, right? So, yeah, I'm not angry at Bigfoot, and I'm not angry at God, because I don't believe either one of them exist. All hail Bigfoot. I do think there's far more chance that somebody could find a Bigfoot than anybody would be able to demonstrate a God. So I will still lean to Bigfoot. I got Bigfoot shirt. I wear Bigfoot shirts all the time. I love Bigfoot. I wish somebody would find a Bigfoot, big furry Chewbacca thing. That would be great. As far as anything else, no. Not angry at God. I've been angry in my life, but I've never been angry at God. Well, I shouldn't actually say it. I think there was a time when I was a kid. A friend of ours got killed in a car accident. And I did raise the question of how could a good guy, something like that happen to him. But I don't think it was a serious thing. I think it did cross my mind, though. He was a good guy, taken out way too young, and it was just, of course, a lot of us were just blown away, you know what I mean? We grew up with the guy in the neighborhood, and then he was just gone, and the whole neighborhood was stunned. It was one of those things. But I didn't hold it against God, though. It was a drunk driver, hit him head on. He didn't have a chance. So that's what it was. But to be fair, I think it did cross my mind.
And let Scripture speak, right? The only thing that's going to convince some people is the Word of God, because it has power. So faith doesn't come from facts. It comes from God's words.
Faith doesn't come from facts. It comes from God's words. And the fisherman earlier kind of conceded that man wrote the Bible, and therefore it can have mistakes in it because man is not perfect. So y'all aren't helping each other out. Maybe some of you should get together before you make your videos and kind of get the stories all going fluidly, right? Hey, hello, Sydney and Tux. Hello. Yeah, I'm trying an evening show for the people that are joining here. And Stop the Stupidity came in here and became a member and gave out some gift memberships. So we've got some memberships going here at the Captive Desk now. And those of you that get them and will get them or may get them, feel free to use them frequently. And I'll try to update them, get them a little nicer and everything. Yeah. I just set it up, so I just kind of, put stuff together, but we'll get stuff together and we'll have lots of fun with it. And Purple, good to see you. Hello.
Romans 10 verse 17 says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So they get faith by hearing the word of God. So you use the Bible, you use the scriptures, you speak the gospel clearly, simply. You give them the cross, even if they laugh. Some of them I ask, well, could I just show you what the Bible says so you know? You might not believe it, but
I laugh because here's my thing, okay? I've heard a lot of arguments for God from people who use a lot of big words in big fancy philosophical arguments. Excuse me, I need a drink. I'll wet my whistle. Hello, Tori. Good to see you. Crap, I forgot where I was. So let me hit back here.
You might not believe it, but I just want to show it to you. Could I do that? So God's word is sharper than any art of God. So you use the Bible, you use the scriptures, you speak the gospel clearly, simply. You give them the cross, even if they laugh. Some of them I ask, well, could I just show you what the Bible?
Yeah, that was the laughing part, right? Yeah, you hear the big fancy arguments, William Lane Craig on down the line, all across the board. And then, though, they're going to tell you they believe in a magic zoo boat. I'm going to laugh, okay? There are things in a lot of these texts that if people are taking it seriously, it's funny, okay? The story itself isn't funny necessarily. But when you're, and I've got a video coming up here, I don't want to spoil it, but when you're trying to make some of these supernatural things part of history, then you might get a chuckle. Okay, I'm sorry, but see, I'm not a believer. Okay, so when I hear some of these things, you might get a chuckle. I don't mean to be mean. I really don't. Okay, it's not the intent. Okay, it just comes out because that's my perspective when I hear it. That it's like you can't be serious. Okay. So yeah, I might laugh.
The Bible says, so you know. You might not believe it, but I just want to show it to you. Could I do that?
Sure.
So God's word is sharper than any argument. In Romans 5:8, the Bible says, but God commendeth his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us.
Yeah, well, I think that story's been adjusted. The way I look at it, Christ was executed for sedition. Okay, if any parts of the story are true, and I'm one that says there's probably could have been a Jesus that was crucified. Okay, because it wasn't uncommon. All right, Rome seemed to enjoy doing that to folks. All right. Sadly, it was done a lot. So sure, the plaque supposedly on the cross that says King of the Jews, to me says that they were worried that he was having a following, and, F around with Rome and find out, right? So, yeah, I think if the King of the Jews plaque on the cross is any way true, that would suggest sedition. So, and then once you have a martyr, the martyr could have died for all kind of things. You can add all that in later.
So the soul winning secret for today is the atheist doesn't need a philosophy, they need a savior. Right?
Well, see, part of being an atheist is that we don't think we need a savior. We think we're responsible for ourselves. If I'm wrong on that, feel free to correct me in the chat. Is that, what you all think as well? That's what I think. So, Bigfoot, yep. And Al, hello, Al. Good evening. How you doing? Lots of great folks stopping through. Good to see y'all. Joining me on this evening episode. I thought I'd reach out to some of the evening folks and maybe people, on West Coast and beyond, stuff like that. Because I'm usually on during the day. A lot of us see each other earlier in the day. And so this often my quiet time when I'm doing editing and stuff, because my son gets up early, so he goes to bed early, right? So keep it quiet. So I'll be back here, editing and stuff. So I thought, all these little shorts and stuff, it'd just be easier to just run through them on a live stream and I pop on, say hi to everybody, and I'm glad I did, because Stop the Stupidity made my evening stopping through here and becoming a member and giving out some gift memberships. And yes, we have memberships now here at the Captive Desk with emojis. So 99 cents, you can get some emojis. And this is not about money here at the Captive Desk. I don't have a lot of money. A lot of y'all ain't got no money. Don't worry about it. All right, there's going to be gift memberships. We'll hook people up and everything. This is just for fun here at the Captive Desk, okay? Just for fun here at the Captive Desk. So if you ain't got it, don't worry about it. All right, not what we're about here. All right, we're here to have fun. All right, that's why I popped on tonight, was to have some fun. I'm having fun. Okay.
Right? You're not trying to win a debate. That doesn't matter at all. You're trying to win a soul to Jesus Christ.
And that's fair enough. I mean, if you are sincere and you're trying to convert somebody and you're, nice about it or whatever, I don't have a problem. Okay. Don't force it on anybody or into our laws or anything like that. But, I understand, when they knock on your door and they're witnessing, I understand they're supposed to go out and do it, They quit knocking on my door, though. And I was nice to them, but I think I out-talked them. They had other things to do.
So the final challenge for you today is, don't be afraid of skeptics. They are not unreachable. I've seen atheists saved.
Oh, sure. Right? Some people convert, whatever, fine, whatever. I do question, though, a sincere atheist, because, to me, it's like, once you learn how a magic trick is done, you can't unlearn it, right? So now this is my own experience. Everybody has their own, right? But my experience is, if you've reached the conclusion that you're an atheist, I think it's really hard to go back to, especially a religion that has strict doctrines and everything, maybe something more Eastern or, so-called pagan or something, but going back into something like that when you've already been an atheist, for me, it's always a tough one to believe, but I'm sure it happens.
They're not unreachable. They're just unbroken. Speak the truth, plant the seed, and trust God to bring the increase. We've seen souls saved week after week, and you can too. Don't just watch. Go fishing. Let's win the world to Christ, one soul at a time.
That literally say.
All right. Some of it was sincere and some of it wasn't. So I would suggest stick with the sincere part. That wasn't bad. And we can work with that. I can talk with you about that stuff. And stop the stupidity. Man, you're awesome, dropping some more gift memberships. Man, I'm I'm going to get emotional. That's so awesome. We got Sydney Raptor, Al Trucker, Tori, Standard deviation, native atheist. You got emojis. And thank you very much, Stop the Stupidity. You're just too awesome. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Everybody drop those emojis. All right. Keep distracting me. I need a moment here. Man, that's just so awesome. All right. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Okay. Pastor. Pastor, you weren't too bad there. Yeah. Drop that little attitude part there in there, and come talk to some of us atheists that like to have a nice little discussion, and we can work with you. I'll give that one a C. How about that? We'll give it a bunch of these have been duds, and I've been giving them a D. So we'll give you a C. Maybe you might be able to get to a B. Not bad. All right, let's see what we got next here. Let me see here. Sydney Raptor, dropping those emojis. Very nice. Very nice. And Tori, feel free to drop those emojis. It's all about the emojis. I was just dying to get emojis, and I'm going to get some cooler ones. These are just some ones that I could scare up, setting up everything. But I'm going to get some better ones. It's all in progress. I still got some things to do and everything on it. I got to make up some playlists on my channel and set things up, kind of, we'll get it all cool looking here pretty soon. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who do we got next here?
Literally say that there was nothing and nothing happened to nothing, and then nothing magically exploded for no reason whatsoever and created everything, and then everything magically rearranged itself for no reason at all, no reason whatsoever, into self-replicating organisms and form trees, plants, animals, dinosaurs.
Whoa, slow down. Slow down. Okay. Wow, that was a lot. I'm going to have to back up. Try this again.
That there was nothing and nothing.
Okay, there was the nothing argument. No. A bunch of us, I participated in a video with Deconverted Man and a whole bunch of other folks. He got a bunch of us together, and we all said, no, we, as all kind of non-believers, do not believe in this everything came from nothing thing. So, and there was this guy, some guy named Aaron Ra in it. I guess he's pretty popular. Love you, Aaron Ra. No, sorry. Stop using this argument.
Nothing happened to nothing, and then nothing magically exploded.
Nothing happened to nothing, and then nothing magically exploded. I guess this is the Big Bang, and that's just a terrible explanation of it.
For no reason whatsoever.
Well, physicists are working on the reasons, and for some reason, this really dense energy expanded, okay? So, when we figure it out, we'll let you know. All right.
And created everything, and then everything.
Well, it didn't create everything. It was a process, but
magically rearranged itself.
Once again, no, it's by physics. Gravity and stars form, and then planets form around stars. This stuff is pretty much known. Okay. Then we have dark energy and dark matter somehow that works on things, and they're figuring it out. We have a fair understanding. It's not magic.
For no reason at all.
Why does there have to be a reason? The universe just is, okay? Enjoy it. It might not be here, and then we wouldn't be here. That would suck. Quit being a buzzkill, right?
No reason whatsoever, and to self-replicating organisms inform trees, plants, animals, dinosaurs, and eventually humans.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? And that's all the amazing things that science learns about the history of the planet. It's pretty amazing to me. I don't understand the logic of atheists. Well, I'm not going to just ruin every video by saying this has nothing to do with atheists, but, stop saying this has anything to do with atheists. I don't understand the logic of atheists, implying that because science learns things, not believing in God is bad. Okay. That's your opinion, but it doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of scientists believe in God, and they discover things about the natural world. And if they share it, that's great. I don't care who makes these discoveries. It's all good.
And not only that, they don't stop there. They give it a sophisticated name like a biogenesis.
Well, oh, they gave it a name. Well, darn it all. They gave it a name, folks. They call it abiogenesis. Now, my understanding of abiogenesis is where life started, right? So you could kind of apply that to the theological view too, that there was an abiogenesis moment. So I don't think it's really a bad word either way. And what it is what it is. That's why we give these things labels like this. Okay. We'll agree on that.
Or evolution.
Oh, evolution. Watch out, folks. It's the evolution. I have really gotten to the point where whenever anybody says this in a chat or on a stream or anything anymore, I just say, it's biology. Just stop. It's biology. If you want to deny a field of science, just say so. Quit making it like evolution is something separate or whatever. It's biology. Let it go, folks. Okay? Bad argument. Ooh, very scary. All right. Yeah, no, he clearly has no understanding of what he's talking about. D-. You did scare me, though. I'll give you that. What we got going on here in the chat? Big scary science words. Yeah, big scary science words. Sorry, that's what is it? The moms groups or whatever, when they were giving advice, if you can't pronounce something, don't eat or drink it. And it's like, oh, that's ridiculous. Some of these science words are big old mouthful words. Sorry, you can't pronounce it. I can't always pronounce some of these things. One of the things I do when I'm doing a script if I come up to something I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm going to the how to pronounce it thing, which is just freaking awesome. Awesome. Just, it's so awesome. You go on there and this is how you pronounce it. Thank you very much. So yeah, some of those big words and, Bree and, Doc Dino and Dapper, and all those folks, they're rattling off some of those big old names for the dinosaurs and stuff. And wow. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but, I didn't name it. Sorry. Hey, Dark Light, how you doing? Good evening. All right, what we got next? Let's see here.
God and miracles don't exist, but the Big Bang Theory definitely did happen, and we can't...
Oh, no. Okay. God and miracles don't exist, but the Big Bang Theory happened. All right?
explain how everything that we can see had a beginning out of nothing. We can't explain why humans have a right and wrong because we're nothing more than just clumps of cells. I mean, there is no such thing as an objective truth or an objective good versus evil. And we are supposed to just ascribe to the entire writings of Charles Darwin, who's actually one of the most racist white supremacists our history has ever seen, who always was talking about the selective races.
Oh, wow. Sorry, it's a little quiet on the volume. That's some of these people record a little low. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll go. First of all, the races was a term that's outdated. All right, and for his time, Darwin and a lot of his peers, and I think family members too, were abolitionists. So for the time, that's pretty unracist, isn't it? So misusing this is every time I hear it, I just say ugh, right? As far as all the other stuff, he threw like 50 dang things in there. I couldn't keep track. So let's try this again. He's talking, how long was this? This thing's only like 30 seconds long. He packed a lot in. He packed a lot into that. I'll give him that. All right, let's try this a little slower here and see. Let's see here. Drop the speed a little bit. Talking way too fast.
Don't exist, but the Big Bang Theory definitely did happen, and we...
All right, so but the Big Bang Theory did... Well, the Big Bang happened, the theory describes it. Yeah.
Can't explain how everything that we can see had a beginning out of nothing.
Oh, the nothing thing. Oh, no, it's not out of nothing. And the physicists don't say it's out of nothing. There was something. Stephen Hawking said there was something before the something. So there was something. No. And this is titled The Religion of Evolution and Atheism. These are the ones that catch my eye, obviously. Content creators were looking for evolution and atheism keywords, right? So, but no.
Can't explain why humans have a right and wrong because we're nothing more than just clumps.
They're right and wrong they're a social construct, okay? When we're a social species and living together, you kind of need to set up some rules, all right? And, this is where I'll kind of give some common sense, all right? We'll go common sense for a second, all right? Yeah, common sense. You don't harm each other in the group because you need each other. These kind of things just come from living together. So it's nothing that's mystical or magical or anything. And perfectly natural. And we got math pigs streaking through here. Everybody cover your eyes. Hello, Robbie. Good to see you. I don't know, what is it? Is it probably morning for you, isn't it?
Of cells. I mean, there is no such thing as an objective truth or an objective good versus evil. And
Well, see, a lot of these terms are depending on if it's a religious term of evil, if it's a natural term of evil, like natural disasters, or are these things a wrath of God? We gotta try this one again. It's just so fast.
I mean, there is no such thing as an objective truth or
There might be there might be objective truths. I think he's talking more objective morals, because I think we could find more objective truths than we could find objective morals. But my opinion is, if a God is deciding what the rules are, it's subjective. So if it goes all the way to the top, it's still subjective. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you disagree, that's fine, whatever. But that's the way I see it.
objective good versus evil. And we are supposed.
Well, we judge things as good and evil. Again, these are words that we use. I mean, when something really, really bad happens, we call it evil. But again, you know, there depends. It depends, you know. I don't know. I don't like the wording, I guess. It's just, I don't like the wording. Nope.
Supposed to just describe to the entire writings of Charles Darwin, who is actually one of the most
Okay, and then we have to turn everything over to Charles Darwin, because all hail Charles Darwin. Okay. And no, he wasn't a racist. For his time, he wasn't, I mean, he might have, you know, it was a long time ago. But for the time, though, he wrote about abolition. You can look it up.
racist white supremacists our history has ever seen, who always
History's ever seen? I think you missed, I think you missed a lot of parts in your history book there, sir. I mean, a lot.
was talking about the selective races.
Yeah, the wording is outdated, all right? So's the Bible.
Got it.
Yep, I don't think you got it. No, that's a D minus. Let's see, what's Dane say? I don't believe in objective truth either. There's no truth that is separate from subjective experience. All truth is subjective to the consciousness empowering it. And see, no matter where you get it from, right? It's ultimately subjective. It doesn't matter what you apply it to. If that thing is dictating it or recommending it or whatever, magically appearing carved in stone, it's still subjective. So, yeah, all hail Darwin. Yeah, that's another. That's weak. That's really weak. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, this guy here. This guy, he's well, I'll say when I start running it because it's going to bother me.
How to squash and utterly destroy atheism.
Oops, wait a minute. I forgot I had it turned down. My bad. Get this back here because he's talking normal. The other guy talked way too fast. That's cool that if you can do it, you know, I would like to be able to do that and shorten up some of my videos, but sorry, folks, I would stumble all over my words. I really try to enunciate, and there's just no way.
How to squash and utterly destroy atheism. 3 Bible verses.
Wow. I hear that again.
How to squash and utterly destroy.
Squash and utterly destroy. Oh no. All right. I'm gonna have a drink. I might have to get something stronger. Okay, strap in, folks.
Atheism. 3 Bible verses.
3 Bible verses? Okay. Maybe he found some I haven't heard of. How about the chat? You think he's going to pull up any Bible verses you haven't heard of? We'll see. It could happen. It could happen.
A lot more than 3, but let's just keep it at 3 for simplicity.
Okay. All right. Now, see, right here is bothering me. All right. Now, if you're going to make a video in your car, all right. I understand, I have lousy acoustics here too. That's why I like doing things these times when it's quiet around here, because other times I've got, there's kids out playing. It was nice the other day. I got the windows open. So you're going to hear kids yelling because, I don't have a soundproof studio. I ain't got it like that, right? So folks do videos in their cars because it's quiet, whatever. All right. But this dude's driving. And I think he's on a highway. He's looking down and he's reading Bible verses. This ain't cool. Right? Just ain't, man. Right? No, don't do this. Don't do this. All right. You already got me up. You already got me mad. You already got me mad. I just talked about I lost a friend in an accident when I was a kid. All right. And this is the kind of stuff that causes accidents. Have you seen the commercials?
We'll go in order. Genesis chapter 2 verse 7 or 3 verse 19. Moses wrote that man was made from the dust of the ground.
Okay.
Without any technology, no microscopes, no nothing. Thousands of years before man was even capable of learning what our bodies were made up of.
I believe it comes from you bury people and they break down. But okay.
Just wrote that they're made up of the dust on the ground. Your average handful of dirt.
Now, see, this is the comparison where it falls apart. Your average handful of dirt does not have all the elements in it that's in our body. I mean, maybe in a specific place where something was buried, but I don't know. The average dirt, though, I don't know. But we'll give it to you.
How did he know that? Because God told him to write it.
No, again, I think because people get buried and turned into dirt.
NASA, I think it was in the 80s, was when NASA actually officially discovered and confirmed that our bodies are made up of 28 base and trace elements.
NASA figured that out? I don't know why NASA would doing that, but okay, whatever. But yeah, you can look that up. There's basically a recipe. You can look it up. What are we made of? And I've seen them before. There's a bunch of elements in our bodies because, yeah, when I think pretty much like if they cremate you, they could check it, right? See what elements are there. Maybe they did it another way. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But yeah, there is a list though. So we pretty much know what we're made of. About 7 pounds of chemicals, I think, and add water.
same elements in your handful of dirt, clay, mud, whatever.
Yeah, see, again, it's not just dirt, clay, mud, whatever. It would have to be a specific place that contained all the elements that are in us in that same location. But again, I think it's because we bury people.
And, well, it's virtually impossible for Moses to have known that.
No, because we bury people.
Because we look nothing like dirt.
Yes, we do. When you bury people and you go back after a while, and maybe out of curiosity or a ritual or whatever, we found out, wow, they turned into dirt.
Okay.
You know what else turns into dirt? Just about everything that breaks down turns into dirt.
So there's one.
No, that's not one. I need to get a buzzer. See, I have to get some sound effects. See, I'm gonna work on some stuff here. No, bzz, no, bzz, that's not one. Total dud, fail.
Job without any.
I can't see both screens at the same time. Speedy, hello, Speedy Romans. Good to see you. I'm mostly weed resin. I feel you.
Scuba diving gear or submarines somehow knew that there were springs on the ocean floor.
Okay. Yeah, see, now this isn't surprising me with the Bible verses, because I'm well aware of this, and these verses are interpreted a lot of different ways. It can mean where the water goes into the seas and all different kind of things. And you can see springs welling up, right, that didn't have to necessarily be from the deep ocean floors. And you could be out in a little deeper water in a boat, and you could see things coming up, gas bubble releases and all that kind of stuff. And you could see that. I don't think that they actually knew about it from the deep sea, because I don't think they were out that far. They could have been. But this, a lot of these things I'm just calling post hoc, right? Oh, they found this, and then, oh, look in the Bible, it says something that sounds like that, right? This could mean a lot of things, and it is interpreted as different things. Or maybe somebody went scuba diving at the bottom of the ocean where nobody can actually go. I don't know. I think only the unmanned things can go that deep.
Pretty much impossible for a man thousands of years ago to even take an educated guess that there were springs on the ocean floor.
No, I think I gave a fair argument that you could see things coming up in the water. So, and there was people that had boats, despite the Noah story. I think people had boats. So,
again, Job chapter 38, verse 16.
And dude, you need to quit driving when you're doing this. Look how distracted. Man, it's just driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I had second thoughts about looking at this video, but it bugged me too much. But don't do this.
I don't know when man confirmed that, but it certainly wasn't even close to Job's time, thousands of years later, when we developed submarines.
It doesn't matter. Again, there's been boats for thousands of years, so.
When man could confirm that there were springs on the ocean floor. Also, Job in chapter 26 and verse 7 wrote that the earth hangs on nothing. The earth free floats in space.
There are forces that keep the planet where it is in orbit around the sun, and it has to do with the gravity well, and they're also learning that maybe the dark matter, dark energy, maybe holds things, and all there's forces that are holding the planet in place. It's not nothing. So whatever you want to call it, it's not nothing.
Couldn't possibly have known that.
Well, because they're just looking up at the sky and they're not seeing a string. I mean, well, it doesn't seem to be hanging on anything. You see anything? No, I don't see anything, right? That's just, yeah, it doesn't hang on anything. No. I'm picturing a big Christmas ornament now, you know.
How did he know that? God told him he was a prophet of God.
No, they just looked up and didn't see us hanging on anything. That's it. That's it.
Without any satellites, technology, nothing.
Nope.
No rockets back then.
Nope.
This was thousands of years before satellites were ever developed. Man could not.
Now, see, this is what the guy I gave a passing grade to earlier was saying, that you might laugh, okay? You see, this is why I laugh, because it was funny. It's not personal against this guy. What's personal against this guy is making a freaking video when you're freaking driving. Bad.
Could possibly have known, confirmed that the Earth hangs on nothing until we developed satellites to orbit the Earth and take pictures of the globe.
See, maybe you should not make your video in your car, but get out of your car at night or during the day. I guess it doesn't really matter. Get out of your car and look up. And when you don't see a string that we're hanging from, and you're living thousands and thousands of years ago, and your imagination kind of dictates your science, you probably come to the conclusion, doesn't look like we're hanging on anything. Because anything that you would adorn something with, there would be a hook and some rope or whatever, and you would hang it down there, right? Look up.
Which was sometime in the last century, maybe the 50s.
Maybe.
I don't know when they.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe in the 1950s, people looked up. I'll give it that one. Yeah. Yeah, the multitasker here. It's like, it's killing me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Bad. I don't know his name. Let's say his name. Whatever his name is. Bad. What is it? Tana. Oh, yeah. See, of course it is. Tana Klein. Whatever. Bad Tana Klein.
They invented satellites, launched the first rocket into space, but I know it was in the middle of last century. Certainly not in Job's time. Thousands of years before modern technology.
Nothing to do with it.
So that's 3.
3? I thought we were on 2. Okay. I thought. Was anybody else paying attention? Did he skip 2? Anyway, maybe it's just me. Maybe I need a refresher. I'm gonna get a refresher. Maybe it's just me. All right, we'll see.
You could go into a 4th, which is very convincing. Isaiah wrote in chapter 40, verse 22, that the earth is circular, the earth is round. For centuries, up until, I forget who it was, Galileo or whoever, confirmed that the earth is round.
Oh wait, that's right. He slipped in the earth hangs on nothing verse. Okay, yeah, all right. I see how he got it. All right, never mind. I got the count back up. Okay, my bad.
Ground. Men believe that the earth was flat. The establishment, I should say, was preaching that the earth was flat.
Oh no, the establishment. Not the establishment, folks. It's the establishment. They were preaching the world was flat. To what end? I don't know. But the established. Well, no. People have known the earth was round for a long time. Okay. It's a myth that people thought the earth was flat, maybe a long time ago, primitive people, whatever. But for, a long time, people have known the earth is round. Or it's on the back of a turtle. 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 And on the back of a turtle.
And Isaiah, thousands of years earlier, was told by God that the earth, the Spirit of God, I should say, that the earth was round.
It doesn't say the earth is round. It says things like God sits up above the circle of the earth or something like that. It doesn't say, hey, the earth is a planet that orbits around the sun and it's round, and things are round because of gravity, or just call it whatever. But there's not a description or anything like that. So a circle, again, if you look up, you see a circle. You look around, you see the horizon, everything. It looks like a circle. So this is just descriptive of people looking up, which, what is it again? Tanakline. Man, why do they do that? See, captive desk. Do you have a problem pronouncing captive desk? It's all good, man. You call your channel whatever you want. It's all good.
Couldn't possibly have known that. Isaiah did not have any satellites or
no, he didn't.
Nothing. No technology to confirm that the earth was circular.
Once again, if you look around, it appears to be circular because you look around. Get the idea? Look around. Seems to be circular. Jasper, good to see you. Hello. We're having a little fun this evening. Looking at some shorts. Having a little celebration. I have memberships now. And I've been promising everybody Bigfoot emojis. So for 99 cents, and again, if you don't have 99 cents thing, I know people sponsor lots of channels. I do. I'm not here asking for money, but I promised emojis when I hit enough subscribers, and the first thing I did was get my emojis in there. So if you want to become a member, please do, and enjoy those emojis. And Stop the Stupidity already kicked me off this evening with a membership and gave out some gift memberships, and that was really awesome. So, but it's all about fun here. Like I say, it's just lowest level, 99 cents. You get emojis, and I guess when you get more members, you can have more emojis. And I think I might have already, you know what, Stop the Stupidity? I think you might have already unlocked another emoji. So, and man, Stop the Stupidity. Stop the Stupidity hitting again. I'm I owe you lunch and a big hug. You're really awesome. Thanks for starting everything off with a bang. It's really appreciated. You're just too freaking awesome. You really are. And what we got? Always, and you're hitting all the great folks too. That's really cool. Jasper, you're gifted a membership. Jester, Ms. Ember, that's awesome. Leo's been on the channel quite a few times. And Miss Non Sequitur, that's awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jasper, drop those emojis. I'm just dying to say that. I'm just dying to say drop the emojis with the Bigfoots. And we've got tracks. We've got to believe. We've got a Bigfoot giving a heart for all the love. And we've got a Yeti. You could drop those emojis. And I think, yeah, I think it said as soon as I get like a couple, maybe it opens up another one. I have to check later, but yeah, I think so. And if so, everybody thanks Stop the Stupidity for getting us another emoji. That'd just be super duper. All right, we're going to go back to Tono Klein, whatever. It's too much for me, brother. Sorry, man.
You might have been able to take an educated
It might be like a gamer thing or something. I don't know. Whatever.
guess based on the stars. That's about the only argument against it. But still, he could not have made a declaratory statement
Sure, he could.
like that because he did not have the proof. So, there.
Once again, look around. Okay. It's kind of self-explanatory. You look around, everything's in a circle. There you go. Doesn't matter where you are. If you turn all the way around and look, everything around you will be in a circle.
There it is. 3 or 4 Bible verses to utterly destroy, squash, annihilate an atheist's arguments.
Wow. You're running out of time, dude.
But you're going to come across atheists who still won't believe in the Bible. Why? Because they're simply biased. They are not honest.
Now, wait a minute. You just gave me a bunch of terrible arguments, terrible Bible verses, things that I don't even think you really understood what they meant, because I'm pretty sure you got some of those things wrong. And then you're telling me I got an attitude and a bias against a book that I probably read more than you did? That's not cool. But back at you. How about that?
They don't want to believe. They do not want to believe that there is an almighty, all-loving God.
Why not? Because you haven't convinced me, brother. Now, I'm watching your video, and you were supposed to squash, what was it, obliterate, squash, destroy. You used all these words for atheism, all right? So I'm watching your video, and I'm stopping it. I'm commenting. I'm listening. Paying attention to what you're posting up there with the Bible verses. Critiquing your driving while you're doing this. It's bad. Bad Tono Kleino. Yeah, that bad. Don't do this. So I think that's a little unfair. I don't think I have a bias. Growing up, I went to church like a lot of us did, because it's what you did. And it was kind of assumed that these things were taken for granted that there was a God and a Jesus and stuff like that. I don't think there's a bias. It's not this that I'm angry at God or anything else like that. I just found the stories to not be taken literally or historically. What do you want? It's like Aesop's fables. Okay, reading it is supposed to give you life lessons and kind of try to explain things the best people knew back then. So when they said, "Hey, where'd the sun come from?" Oh, God made it. You know, in a way, religion is kind of an early science. It's trying to explain things, and it's explaining things very simplistically. Okay. I had a refresher. I feel better now. So no. Did he claim 4 or 5? I think he claimed 4. 4 of them, and they were terrible. Like I say, the earth hangs on nothing. It's just a matter of looking up, man. It's not hanging on anything, and doesn't look like the earth is hanging on anything. This is the best you got that's gonna destroy atheism and stuff. And I've heard some of these arguments already before. Sorry to burst your bubble. So I don't know what you got left here. I guess you're just going to rag on me. So let's see.
It's a heart thing, okay? They don't want to submit their lives to God. They don't want to repent of sin. They don't want to do the will of God. Men love darkness, in the words of Jesus.
Yeah, okay, he wants to rag on me, right? Well, I love the darkness, all right? Well, this again, in the sin, I love my sin and all this. This is just a bad argument. If I wanted to sin, I'd become a Christian and I'd be forgiven for it. See? I know, that you can be forgiven. So if I wanted to sin and I believed in sin, which comes from your religion, I'd join your religion so I'd get my get out of jail free card because Jesus forgives you for just about everything. So that backfires. Don't use that argument.
Love darkness rather than the light. All right.
I don't know. I got my lights on here. Otherwise, my green screen doesn't work.
Anyone with an objective, honest, rational mind, seeing verses like this, any atheist, I should say, seeing these verses will...
Now, wait a minute. Do I have an objective, rational mind? Or am I separated from those folks as an atheist? Or should I say, right? Yeah, okay.
Repent. I know. I converted one. I told an atheist once who said there was no evidence. He said that the Bible was full of contradictions, and I told him that no, all those contradictions were proven. They were clarified. You can look. You can Google it and find any website.
They were clarified. The contradictions were clarified. No. You converted an atheist? Good for you. I don't think you did.
Websites could confirm it. I learned it in Bible study class, but there's websites.
What a coinkydink that it's explained away in Bible class. Yep. Yep. Friend of the channel is Ed at the Rabbit Atheist, former preacher, and he tells a lot of stories about this, that they got an explanation for anything, and sometimes the explanation is, don't ask those questions. What do we got? Yep, I agree with you, Dark Light, but I try not to cuss on my channel. But, yeah. Um, Jasper's all smiles. Right on. Tori's back home. And we got mental gymnastics for all those contradictions. Yeah, that's what hermeneutics is, and apologetics, and I couldn't even guess how many authors have written multiple books. Some of them have written tens and hundreds of books explaining the Bible to you, and it goes for other religions too. We joke a lot on Saturday Night at the Atheist, often watching the videos, how much string and tacks we need to use, like, the conspiracy folks, with the stuff all over their walls. And you can use up a lot of string and a lot of tacks with some of these folks. But they managed to find a way, and even some of the ones that I give some credit to, like William Lane Craig, who doesn't buck up against science. He's not one of these young earth creationists or anything. But I forgot where I was going with it. I'm trying to read the chat. Stop doing that, Dave. Anyway, let me see. It wasn't important anyway. It's William Lane Craig. Couldn't have been too important. I'll think of it.
Out there. So he went and looked because he was honest, and he wanted to believe. Apparently, he wanted to believe. He would rather believe in a all-loving, almighty God. And that's basically what it boils down to. If you want to believe, you'll find the proof. You'll see these verses, and you'll believe. If you don't want to believe, if you just want to stew in your sin and be a slave to sin, then you won't believe. You will not believe the concrete evidence I just gave you. If you want to believe.
You gave me concrete evidence. Oh, you got an attitude, don't you? I like it. I like an attitude. I do. I'll give you the attitude, but you need a little better than that to back up your attitude, really. And no, I'm not trying to sin, okay? I don't believe in sin, all right, first of all. And if you're implying that I want to be a bad person, I try not to be a bad person. So, as far as what I passed along to my kids, they would have friends that went to church and stuff, and it came up. And I told them, I said, well, I don't go and I don't take you. But if you ever want to go or you're interested in going, you're free to go. Of course, I'm not saying I would send my little kid off somewhere, but, when they're older, they're free to do whatever they want. So, no, I don't care about that either way. But I don't have an attitude like you have. What was he just saying?
The concrete evidence I just gave you. If you want to believe in an all-loving, almighty God, creator of the universe, if you want to have hope.
See, God is a whole other subject. First of all, you have to define God, okay? And if you want to believe that there's this great guy that made the universe and has a heaven for you and everything, that's all fine and well. I'm not convinced, and I don't think it matters either way, all right? If a God created this reality, then that's what we live in. It doesn't matter either way. God doesn't seem to show up and do anything. There's a lot of suffering in the world. The few miracles that believers can cite, I think, are awful, because if one person can be healed, why isn't everybody healed, right? So really, I think those examples are just exploiting people, and otherwise pretty disgusting if a God would heal one child and not everybody else. But if you want to believe in all the good things far as our reality goes, you just have to deal with life. Then, then we're all in the same boat, right? If it gets to an afterlife and there's an afterlife, then I guess we're all going to deal with it. And if there's a just being or something, and it's mad at me because I'm laughing about the Magic Zoo boat, and that's the worst thing I've done in my life, then I think just about everybody's out of luck as far as getting into that afterlife, really. I think everybody could have done a minor enough screw up to be on the short list, or the long list, maybe.
When this life is over, then you'll believe. It's as simple as that.
Simple as
You'll
that.
believe the 100% concrete proof I just gave you.
Okay, the 100%. Oh, jeez. All right, you cited some Bible verses. That's pretty much what I post hoc gave to most of it, and the rest. And not knowing natural things, somehow people didn't know natural things. Yes, they did, and I've been in these arguments before, and it goes for the Quran as well. Nothing in these books, to me, seems to indicate that they knew anything beyond their time. So if you didn't know anything beyond your time, I don't think you're getting any divine wisdom. Simple as that. If you can point out something that, and anything, that indicated something about anything that was beyond their understanding at the time, that would be really neat, but I haven't seen it. What's this guy's channel? Well, if you look, you can see the names on the screen there. Just back up and look. Whatever it says. The last guy was Tanakian or whatever. Sounds like a gamer name or something. I could be wrong. But yeah, just you could chase. I had way too many put all in description, and I didn't know what I was going to do, what I was going to get through, how long I was going to be here, or anything else, So, and speaking of, adjust my chair, so let me not look like a goofball here. Fix my chair. All right. Stick my you-know-what right in the camera or anything. All right. So, where I was. Yeah, and it's good to see everybody joining. It's like we've got a dozen people out there. That's really cool. I was saying earlier that a lot of times I do stuff earlier in the day, and especially hanging out with some of the streams that are on during the day that I frequently partner up with and we hang out with, and not often on in the evenings, but around here, this is my quiet time, and usually I'm working on a video or something. It's a good time to record and everything. It's pretty quiet around here this time of the evening, especially with windows aren't open yet, so I don't have a traffic problem either. Of course, there's not a lot of cars rolling through here. So, but I figured, I'm hang out with some of the folks that might be up a little later, some of the folks out west or in other places that I don't often see when we're on at other times. So, and yeah, a bunch of people have been stopping through, so that's really cool. Got Stop the Stupidity being awesome and making this evening extra special. And yeah, we've got memberships now. I hit 500 subscribers, but that doesn't mean I want to stop. So by all means, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe and let anybody else know that might like this kind of content. I got a little bit of everything on my channel. When I do the live streams, though, we try to have a good time. We try to include everybody, including everybody. Speaking of, is John Hudson. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, John. I'm often up late. The schedules with my wife and I, we're often up late, but I'm usually doing videos or, quiet time stuff because my son is an early riser, so we gotta be quiet. So it's kind of a good time to do something like this. And with a bunch of these videos here, I was saying earlier, I like making videos, but for some of these shorty ones too, especially, it's a lot of effort to make a video for something that somebody, like that one guy that talked really fast is 30 seconds long and talking way too fast. So I just kind of put them on a list, right? And sometimes I pull them up in a stream or something, just to look at. But so I had quite a few of them in the queue. So I thought, I'm going to pop on. It's quiet time and just hang out with everybody, trying to get, reach some folks that might be out in the evening because, hey, I want everybody to stop by and have a good time, right? And I'm celebrating a little bit. 500 subscribers. It was really neat. You get a notification from YouTube and it says, hey, congratulations. And you're like, wow, hey, thanks. And then you're like, wow, that's got 500 people. That's just totally awesome. Totally, totally awesome. And yeah, everybody that's supported me and hopefully comes by and has a good time. Really appreciate it. And for the folks that don't agree, we've had a lot of folks stopping by, especially on Saturdays. We've had believers and some other folks stopping through that don't necessarily agree. But so far, most of them we've had a little discussion back and forth and had some civil discourse. We even brought somebody on one night to present their case, and we gave them a fair shot and everything. So I hope everybody feels welcome. And there was a discussion earlier about how mods should handle things and what the rules are on your channel and everything. And, it's pretty simple. I think everybody pretty much agrees, don't be a dick, don't say nasty things about people or anything like that. And if you want to do that, I understand that there's places that's what they like to do. And otherwise, if you want to challenge me, if I'm wrong, if you want to throw a Bible verse at me that's going to prove God or whatever, go ahead. I don't care. That's all good. But you got 100 subs. Yeah, you'll get there. If you build it, they will come. So let's see here. What do we have next? And again, when I especially for the content I'm looking for and for the stuff I look for on Saturdays, keywords, you'll see in a lot of these titles, atheist, Bible, evolution, that's what we look for because there's a lot of stuff to cover, right? When people ask, why do you cover some of this stuff? It's because, well, look how much of it is out there to cover. I mean, you gotta answer back a little bit. So we're going to do a mass answer back tonight. We've been going, a couple hours? We'll go for a little while longer here. Get through some of these videos, answer these questions. And like I said, if anybody has a question, drop it in the chat. I'll check over there. The StreamYard doesn't give me all the things here, so I want to check back over here. Yeah, we got emojis. Yeah, drop those emojis. I love the emojis. You can't drop everybody's talking. John's here for my voice. Always appreciate John. Just want to make sure I didn't miss it because I can't see all the chats when I got the StreamYard thing in. So, all right, I think we're covered. Yeah, a bunch of people in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Good to see everybody this evening. I'm kind of winging it here. I didn't have this prepared. I'm just pulling it off a list, so kind of relaxed. I try to be a little better on Saturday, even though last Saturday I couldn't find my opening document. I was so embarrassed. Let's see. We got atheist. The Bible isn't true because Noah couldn't fit all those animals on the ark. Really? Oh. Well, I was already talking about this was going to come up. So, Magic Zoo Boat time, my favorite. If you know me, I just love talking about the Magic Zoo Boat, right? Carrie Ann, good to see you. So, Magic Zoo Boat time, here we go.
Good evening, everyone. I hope this finds you and your family doing well. I received this argument a few times, so I thought I'll tackle it. There's no way Noah could have fit two of every animal on the ark. Therefore, either Genesis is not true or it should be interpreted symbolically or metaphorically. It's impossible that Noah could fit that many animals on the ark.
Yeah. It's a Magic Zoo Boat. I mean, you need magic. I mean, it's just, come on. First of all, the animals need a lot of food, and then they go to the bathroom a lot, right? And it's a big mess. And to keep them alive in a closed box for a year takes magic. If you're going to have magic, then just invoke magic. But instead, they're going to try to explain it somehow, all right? You can't explain it. There's no explanation other than it's magic. If you're just going to say it's magic, God did it, it's a miracle, okay, fine. Stay over there. But you're going to try to explain it. So I need another refresher. Here we go.
Is this a legit argument? You know how the argument goes. This is kind of the same argument as, can God make a stone that he can't lift? People will come up with any excuse. But there's an answer to this argument. First of all...
Yeah, you don't need to know. First of all, like I just said, if you're just going to say God can do it, then just fine. But that should have been it for your video. That's it. God did it. But you're going to try to explain it away because you have some kind of an issue where you have to try to explain it to yourself. Okay? And that's what you're doing. And Miss Hello Pixie, great to see you. Good evening. Always a pleasure.
Let's consider the size of Noah's Ark.
Giggity. I'm sorry.
The length of it was 500 foot, or about 1.5 football fields. The width of it was 85 feet. The height of it was 51 foot. So take all that into consideration. The ark's capacity was equivalent of roughly 500 railroad cars.
Yeah, and these numbers are garbage because you can't pack animals into a cargo container like they pack cargo containers. So that square footage arguments are just terrible. You only have a couple floors on the ark. So it it doesn't really matter all the extra space that it doesn't calculate. Okay, they're not packed in like boxes. It's just, no, these numbers are terrible.
Or trailer capacity. That's 500 railroad cars or trailers. That's about how that was the capacity. And if you put sheep in that capacity, you could put in 112,500 sheep in that capacity.
Bet you can't. Again, you just can't pack them into a box. It doesn't work that way.
So that's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider is, did Noah really have to put 2 of every animal on the ark? And the answer is no. Aquatic animals he did not have to put on the ark.
Yeah, and there's also a problem because they also explain a lot of deposits, creationists do. A lot of deposits because of the mass die-off in the seas, because of the massive turmoil that was going on. So you got to watch how they tell these stories.
For obvious reasons. And most insects that didn't breathe through the nostrils, he didn't have to put on the ark.
And this one always bugs me too. Most insects that don't breathe through their nostrils, well, what about the rest of the insects? I don't think any insects breathe through nostrils. Am I missing the nostril breathing insects somewhere? Maybe. I don't know. I know John Hudson has seen some of them nostril breathing insects. I haven't seen them though. Sorry.
Here's what the Bible actually says. This is Genesis 6, and it's verses 20 through 21. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you, and you will keep them alive.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they understood that as 2 of every animal, because far as I know, I mean, when anybody talks about this story, it's 2 of every animal, right? I mean, when they depict it, it's 2 of every animal. So I think the kind thing is just to get around how silly it all is. That's all kinds are, because it doesn't have a solid definition. They float it all around. It could be a family, it could be a species, it could be whatever they want. So the kind to them meant 2 of every kind of animals, because you had to have 2 of every animal so they could have babies and repopulate afterwards. So they meant it as 2 of every. I'm sorry. No wiggle room there. I'm holding you to what the book says.
And you shall take for yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and shall be food for you and for them.
Now, see, there we go. This is one of the arguments that they try to say, that the animals were asleep and they brought eggs and all these things, and that what he just said for how much room they had on board. Okay. Now, what he just said was bring enough food for them all. Okay. Now, I've just got a couple dogs and a cat and some fish, and I need a closet for, all the food. All right. Just to feed my couple pets. I don't have livestock or anything. All right. I don't have T-Rex to feed. Okay. Bring enough food. Now, Ken Ham will say they're all vegetarians. Now, how they stored fresh vegetables for a year in a nasty box, I don't know. I know Ken Ham has an herb garden on his ark. Anybody have a window box out there where you grow some herbs to throw in your salad, right? Yeah. Could you survive on it? No. But anyway, okay. I love the Magic Zoo boat stories.
So here's the point. 2 of every kind of animal, not
Right.
2 of every animal.
No, it's 2 of every animal. That's what they meant. Listen, aren't you paying attention?
In other words, the dog kinds we have now,
Yeah.
the Chihuahuas, Poodles,
Yeah.
Bulldogs, they came from a common ancestor. Noah didn't have 2 Poodles, 2 Chihuahuas, 2 wolves, 2 coyotes on the
And mind you, these are breeds. There's only one species of dog.
ark. He had 2 of the dog kind. Same thing with the cats. He didn't have 2 lions, 2 tigers, 2 house cats. He had 2 of the cat kind. And the animals we got today come from those kind. What I'm trying to say is
And you want to talk about some super duper evolution, right? All the felines all around right after, that's some super speciation. That's some fast forward reproduction, let me tell you.
microevolution happens. It's called adjusting to your environment. And God has embedded us with traits that we can adjust to our environments. And
Oh no, he's going to try to talk about evolution.
that's what happened
He's talking about Magic Zoo boat and evolution. I love it. Okay.
to the animals. You
Right.
can see that. But what did dogs evolve into? Dogs. What did
Because they're dogs. They're not, we're not trying to make something other than a dog. They breed dogs for specific things, like for hunting or for show or for size or whatever. Not to make something else, because they're breeding dogs. I will give you a tip, though. If you want to go backwards, Noah could have had the ancestor of cats, dogs, I think it's bears and raccoons. They all share a common ancestor. He could have brought that on board and done his super duper evolution after the flood and saved all the ones that you just named, because a lot of them have a common ancestor.
the cats evolve into? Cats. They
Yeah, but you just said how many, a bunch of different species of cats that cannot interbreed. You cannot go to Africa with your house cat and let it get it on with a lion, right? I mean, they're different. They're species. They're different species, okay? And he wants to talk the micro evolution thing, right? You bring right back, if you believe that new species form, whether it's naturally or through Noah's super duper evolution after the flood, you're still acknowledging speciation. Speciation is macroevolution. I don't know what is beyond species, but I think that's pretty much the end of the line. So, and we got, I love the foots. So, yeah, don't try to do the macro thing either. No. Yeah, and you're already doing Magic Zoo boat. You don't need it.
stayed within their kind. They just adapted to their environment. Macroevolution don't happen. Nobody's ever seen a dog
It don't
turn into a
happen.
fish.
Nobody ever saw a dog turn into a fish. Why would that happen? If that happened, that would be like mythology. Maybe. But that doesn't happen, does it? No, it doesn't happen. Stop saying that.
That don't happen.
It don't happen. You're right.
If you
Because science says that don't happen.
break that down, 2 of every kind, and I got this from a secular thing on the internet.
Oh no. Oh, oh, oh my. Okay, I'm ready. Maybe not. Okay, okay. All right. I'm gonna try to get straight here. Sorry, I just had a refresher. I'm feeling pretty good.
I didn't get this from Christian stuff. Was done by secular people, because I think the Christian stuff is better and more accurate, but I didn't want to be accused of being, prejudiced and going to Christian circles.
How about you just go to science? Maybe.
So, two of every kind of species, Noah had somewhere between 6,800.
Oh, no, wait a minute. You went to a so-called secular source, implying not a Christian source, that gave you information on how many animals were on the Magic Zoo boat. Now, see, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It feels good to have a good laugh. Back to the earlier video. Folks may laugh at us. Yes, because this is ridiculous. If you want to believe in God and have your religion and everything, I'm not going to laugh at you. Okay, that's just being a dick. Okay, but when you're trying to explain the Magic Zoo boat, I'm going to laugh. I am going to laugh, and it's ridiculous. He's trying to look so serious, like he's got it all figured out and everything. And, like he would say, bless you, sir. Right? I mean, but it's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous to try and justify the Magic Zoo boat. It's just painfully ridiculous. It really is. It's almost a buzzkill. Almost.
And 16,000 at the most, 16,000 animals on the ark. Remember what I said about the capacity of the ark? It could hold the equivalent of 112,500 sheep.
Yeah, your math is terrible, dude. It really, you got to understand, okay? And not to mention methane, okay? Methane, bad. But you put a bunch of animals in a box, dude.
And at the most, Noah had 16,000 animals on the ark. It was probably close.
No freaking way. There's just no freaking way. Oh my gosh. The Magic Zoo boat is, see, I mentioned this earlier. William Lane Craig, the Jim Boob idiots, and all the rest of them out there try and give you these fancy philosophical arguments for the existence of God. And oh, by the way, there was a Magic Zoo boat. And then I'm going to laugh. And they're like, oh, well, you don't understand the ontological perspective of the grounding of the universe and blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care. You're talking about a Magic Zoo boat. I'm going to laugh. I like laughing. It feels good. But I'm not having it at your expense. I'm having it at the expense of your video. Okay. I hope you understand that. I'm sure you're a fine fella, probably a great neighbor and everything. You look like somebody lives down the street from me. So, it's all good, but sometimes I worry a little when I'm driving in traffic with you. Just a little bit.
To 7,000. When you say 2 of every kind, well, 7 of every clean.
Oh, yeah.
But that number takes that into consideration. So that argument.
Yeah, and What's the reason for having 7 of some of them? So they could be sacrificed when they landed? It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid.
Don't hold water.
Yeah, it don't hold water. Oh, I'm going to give it to this guy. This one's Magic Zoo Boat's my favorite. Thank you. Thank you for the Magic Zoo Boat story. I really like this.
The Bible is God's word. Don't let nobody tell you that there's no way Noah's Ark couldn't have happened. It did happen.
No, sir, it did not. You're being ridiculous. All right. And why would it? Okay. It doesn't make any sense every direction. If God didn't like its creation, why did it start over with the same stuff? The whole thing is pointless. The whole thing, it's pointless. Other than to explain to people that this big, terrible flood happened. The only reason people survived was because they had a boat. They had a plan. Maybe it's a good idea if you live near the water to have a boat and a plan. Maybe that's the moral of the story. Maybe.
And you know, we can keep using these little fairy tales and excuses to not believe in God, but you know in your conscience there's a God.
We're going to use fairy tales to not believe in God. Touché, sir. Wow. Okay. That was brave. I totally disagree. I think you just demonstrated a lot of fairy tales.
You know it's wrong to lie. It's wrong to steal. That moral compass in you is from God. The Bible says that. He has written his law on our heart.
Yeah, and unless God has a whim and he says, go steal people's stuff and steal their land and take away their very existence and their families and friends and even their animals. And yeah, good. Sure.
You know good from evil. God gave you a conscience to know. And if you've ever...
Well, see, there's my problem, right? I think I'm more moral than the God in your Bible. I think the God story, again, I don't think it exists, but I think the stories about it are reflections of a barbaric culture at its worst.
told a lie, if you've ever stolen, if you've ever been angry or ever been drunk, and this is probably where we'll say, well, have you...
Drunk? Is that in the 10 Commandments? I don't think that's in the 10 Commandments. I know you're not supposed to be drunk, but I think that's just mentioned somewhere else. But okay.
Preacher, yeah, I've broken all the laws, if not in deed, in word. You know, I can say that I've never committed murder.
Right.
But Jesus said in Matthew, I think it's in chapter 5, that if you're angry with your brother without cause, you commit murder of the heart.
Aha, so you were thinking about it, weren't you? You were thinking about it. We all have those thoughts, don't we? You're thinking it. Yeah. You were thinking it. I got you. It's all right. Sometimes because somebody cuts you off in traffic and you just, I got you.
And you had to stand before God on Judgment Day and stand before him and say, well, I didn't believe your word because there's no way Noah could have fed all those animals on my...
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes. That's what I'm going to tell God. Absolutely. I'm going to say, seriously, I don't get in when all these, I'm looking at some folks that I don't think should be getting in. They're getting in, and I'm not getting in because I didn't believe the Magic Zoo Boat story. but I'm not allowed to laugh, and I'm not allowed to think that's just stupid. What kind of God is that? There's nothing just about that or anything. It's a big freaking joke. It's a joke. And the more you try to explain it, the funnier it is. And not only do I laugh about it, but it's also funny in a sad way, because it's you're trying to justify a magic soup boat. you need a different hobby. Seriously, get a different hobby, please. What's he got left? Just a little bit. All right. Okay.
Mark, it's not going to work. And
it ain't going to work.
Your belief has no bearing on reality.
Sir, with all due respect, you're trying. Oh, somebody's got a hot rod out. With all due respect, the reality check, I think, is in your court. Really, seriously.
If somebody hypnotized me,
oh, somebody please hypnotize him. I want to. I want to see that. Please make a video of that. I would love to review that. That would be great. That would be that would be so great. Oh, and hello everybody again in the chat and everything. I can't see it when I'm looking at the other screen, but I'm trying to check over and saying hello to everybody. Oops. Let's see, a bonehead click my thing right off of there. No, I'm not a robot. Gosh. Let's see here. Let me back up a little bit, make sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, everybody. Hello, everybody. Yeah, why didn't... wait a minute, let me back up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, we got, let's see, I think I'm backed up here. The box, no draft or rudder. Yeah, and one window. One window. It's just, yeah, giant thing with all these animals, and put one window on it, you know, for your herb garden. Not needed because you know Jeebus. You got to know Jeebus. It's good to know, I guess. Laughing is good for you. That's what I hear. Better to have the lines going this way than this way, right? Yeah, all stacked on top of each other. That's the whole storage thing. Every time I hear it, it's this many cargo containers. It's like, have you ever seen how they put stuff in a cargo container? Now you're going to put animals in like that? You're making sausage. The T-Rump He-Man Woman Hate has been saying he's had an announcement for 420. Oh, yeah, I heard about it. What a buzzkill, you know? No way, bro. That's 16K things to feed every day. Yeah, I mean, come on. Just say it's magic. There's just no way. And I know Ken Ham has these like troughs that all the waste supposedly just trickles on into Never Never Land or something, and he's got like little hamster bottles on the cages. It's just so ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Dave's voice is like, "Aw, I swear when I win the lottery, I will pay Dave dearly to read me bedtime stories." There are super chats. If you want me to read something for you, I can be bought. Just saying. I take requests. I'm not shy. God is lost in the gaps. Usually. Seven actually makes sense for herd animals of cows. Maybe 6 feet in one. You actually can work that into a herd of 100 in a few years. Yeah, but you don't sacrifice most of them. Or all those cats, the super duper evolving, don't want a steak dinner. Yeah. Everybody saying hello, and hello everybody. Yeah, a bunch of people, a dozen people stopping through. I hope you all having a good time. Maybe I will do some more evening shows. I've been having a good time. I hope you're having a good laugh. I've been having a good laugh. Oh, Magic Zoo Boat is just great. And Thomas, hello. Gomer Pyle was very intelligent. Let's not diss on Jim Neighbors. You have a laugh, Carrie Ann? I hope so. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see everybody stopping through this evening. Well, it's evening for me. It may not be for you, but I thought, maybe some folks are around this time of evening. We can hang out and look at a few videos, have a few laughs, have a couple breaks for a refresher, and feel pretty good. Let's see. We got to wrap this up. Okay, let's see what he's got left here to say.
And made me disbelieve in trains. I just absolutely was 100% convinced trains aren't real, and they can't.
What? Wait, did I miss something? Hold on. What the?
To fit all those animals on the ark, it's not going to work. And your belief has no bearing on reality. If somebody hypnotized me and made me disbelieve in trains, I just absolutely was 100% convinced trains aren't real and they can't hurt me. I was hypnotized and made to believe that.
Okay.
And then I walk out in front of the train. What's going to happen?
You're going to be hamburger like all those animals you're making sausage out of, packing them in a box. Okay, I changed my mind. Please don't get hypnotized. Please don't get hypnotized.
Yeah, that's the end.
No, it's not. It's magic, like the Magic Zoo Boat. You'll be fine. I'm kidding. Minecraft only land. Sorry.
I'm saying is your belief has no bearing on reality. You have to stand before God on Judgment Day, whether you believe in Him or not. That don't matter. You still have to keep at an appointment. And if you're judged by the moral law, you're going to be found guilty. The good news is Jesus paid
The moral law, what'd I do wrong? Wait a minute. Noah's Ark, evolution, and I broke the moral law because I was laughing at it. See, I'm screwed. It's just so ridiculous. I didn't know it was breaking a moral law. I thought that was like, really doing awful things to other people and stuff. Man, you're buzzkilling this whole thing. You know that?
you're fine for you. He lived a perfect life, didn't sin once, and all you have to do is trust in him. Trust.
Yeah, I never liked that either. Jesus only has a couple years of his life written about, and only a few days of those few years written about. All right. Now, I could write a book about myself where I could pick out a couple days out of my lifetime and make myself look pretty freaking awesome. And I think just about any of us could. So this whole Jesus was so awesome and everything. Well, there's some other books out there like the Infancy Gospel of Thomas and writings like this where Jesus was a punk. So maybe you're just picking a couple good days out of a person's 30 some odd years of existence, maybe. Yeah, well, that's, you can make about anybody look good doing that. I don't like that argument. I've heard it a lot.
And believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, the God-man, and he died for your sins. And if you do that,
dude, you got spit flying out your mouth. Dude, you should have edited that. Oh, dude. Oh, you're going to make me blow spit out of my mouth. Oh, okay. I'll let that slide. Maybe you didn't know, but you got spit flying out your mouth.
you can go from death to life. God promises that. He says,
yeah,
whoever comes to me, I will in no wise cast out. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching and listening to me.
It was good for
if
a
you have
laugh.
any questions, comments, leave them, and I will try to get you an answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll study it out. But I appreciate your feedback if you want to leave some. Thank you.
In this video, we're going to be engaged.
Oh, man. Oh. That was great. That was great. Oh, the Magic Zoo boat. And then he'll answer my questions. You don't want, not that I would take it seriously, but you really, I don't think you want any feedback because it's ridiculous. There's no Magic Zoo boat. There's no global flood. Stop it. Stop it. Well, don't stop it. I don't care. Just don't teach it in schools. All right. Oh, what time is it? But we're gonna do one more. We'll do one more because I gotta look at this one. This guy here, I love this guy too. He's totally off the wall, but yeah, I want to take a look at this. So we'll take a look here, see if we can have a few more laughs here, and then we'll wrap things up because we'll be going out of 3 hours. It'd be about long enough for my blood flow. I can get up and get it circulating. I'd stand up, but I don't have the setup for a stand up. So I don't know. Maybe someday I'll get a stand up setup. We'll see. But speaking of the setup, we have memberships now. Been promising Bigfoot emojis. If you want them Bigfoot emojis, you can get a membership, 99 cents, lowest level. Not asking for money. By no means I'm not asking for money here at the Captive Desk. I'm here to have fun. But if you want them, YouTube charges you, okay? So, but if you want them for 99 cents, if you got it like that, if you you want to have some fun, there's emojis. We had Stop the Stupidity already gave out some gift memberships. We've already had some emojis dropping in the chat. Made my evening. Totally awesome. Totally awesome. Tubular awesome. So, yeah, but, and then we'll have, we'll do some member streams, you know, some of those other things that you get over there. And we'll have some fun with that too. And we'll do some interactive stuff. And it'll be good for Carrie Ann and folks like that can get involved. And we'll have a good time and members and stuff like that. All right. Spread the word on things going around and everything. Okay. And wow. We've got Jasper dropping a gift membership. Jasper being totally awesome. And it goes out to Gregory Nietzsche. So Gregory, there you go. You get some Bigfoot emojis. And welcome. And Jasper, you are just freaking awesome. You get the freaking awesomeness thing along with Stop the Stupidity and just everybody that stopped in. You know, I appreciate everybody and all those folks that it makes it so much funner so much more funner, more enjoyable. When everybody's having a good time and everybody's rocking the chat with a good time, it's really great. Enjoy those emojis. So let's take a look at this guy. What's he call himself? Some the Canuck or something. I've seen his videos before. I've never really covered him, and I've seen other people covering him. And I thought, you know what? This is a short one, so we'll take a look. What we got here? 8-minute video. Yeah, that'd be about right. All right, we'll take a look at the Christian Canuck. I guess that's Canadian. If not, I'm sorry. Maybe he just calls himself that, but whatever. What we got? Atheist science fiction beliefs, a Christian response. My science fiction beliefs. He must have saw me on with Chris on Sci-Fi Saturday talking about Star Trek, or maybe Saturday Night at the Atheist when we were talking about Star Trek. Did you see my video, Christian Canuck? I think you did. I think this one, he's talking right to me with this one.
Some things said by atheists and how life on Earth started.
That's not science fiction. I thought we were going to get all nerdy. Oh, okay.
Well, first we want to talk about some important questions about life. Why am I on Earth? Who made the universe, or what made the universe, and why? And does life have any meaning or purpose?
These are terrible questions. Okay? You got terrible questions. These things are just terrible. It's not why, it's how. Okay? Ask how.
These are deep and meaningful questions that
No, they're terrible questions. They're worded poorly.
each human being should ask. They're worth thinking about, they're worth inquiring about, so you can come to the conclusion of those answers.
Only if you want to sit around and get real farm out. I mean, you know, we can all sit around and burn one and get farm out. Okay? I'm all for it, right? Let's all get farm out, talk about deep things, and wow, what if all this and everything? Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine, but you got to leave it there, man. You got to leave it there.
Now, when I was a child, I was taught in science class that the Earth was billions of years old.
Well, good for your school. You had a science class and everything? I am impressed. I am impressed. Did you learn anything? We'll see. But I'm impressed. You had science class. Good. It's good to hear.
And there was a bang, and that's when the Earth started. The big.
Oh, man. There was a bang, and that's when the Earth started. Okay. Thanks, Pixie. Much appreciated. I'm going with, yeah, okay. I'll agree with that. And Mark Reed, hello, Mark. Good to see you. Yeah, we're hanging out this evening, having a little fun here. Earth started at the Big Bang. I know. I learned something. He had a much different science class than I did.
Bang Theory. And that bang and the things that happened during that bang is what caused life on Earth.
Wow. Your science class was terrible. What else? Or you didn't listen. Or so, I mean, if they were telling you good information and then you got this out of it, I'm not going to blame the teacher on this one. No. And it wasn't a homeschool or nothing. You were at school. So, And man, stop the stupidity, man. Thank you so much, really. Much appreciated. All your support this evening has just been fantastic. And yeah, my first super chat. I mean, you hooked me up with membership and Jasper too, and got my super chat. I feel all official now. I'm like an official tuber now. Warms my heart. Thank you very much. And yeah, we have memberships now. I've reached that many subscribers, believe it or not, because I'm just here having some fun, and I guess other folks are having fun too, because there's 500 of you that have been hanging out with me. And a lot of you come by and say hi, and I just hope you're having fun. I hope you have a laugh, and we try to tackle issues, and I try to give you information in my videos, and we try to have some fun there. And when we're doing live streams and on Saturdays and other channels I'm on, we're trying to have a good time, right? And with so many things in the world and whatever you may be dealing with yourself, we just need a few minutes just to have a good laugh, even if it's just things that sometimes really bother me, like believing in magic zoo boats. Science means to know. Yes, it does. It also is a process. So it depends on how you want to look at it. And hello, is that just P? Nothing with it? Hello, P. How you doing? I'm a night owl, Mark. So I said usually later in the evening it's quiet, and it's a good time to record and everything, because I don't have a soundproof setup or anything like that. So it's a good time to record. And I was looking at some of this stuff, and I was like, there's so many of these shorts. I'm just going to do a stream, right? And, just loving everything, this last few months here. I got a big boost in subscribers. A lot of people started coming around, and got a lot of folks dropping by, a lot of new faces, and it's been really great. And yeah, then, the YouTube sends a thing, hey, you got 500 subs, you can have memberships and stuff. And I was like, hey, wow, cool. I get my emojis, right? That's, so it's been really fun here the last week or so and getting all that set up. And plus I figured, well, I better get on it, right? And do some more streams and hang out with y'all and try to give you some more laughs back for all the support, right? It's that give and take, right? If you came here for a laugh, then we're going to have some laughs. I hope the Canuck is going to give some here, because I'm ready for some.
I was taught in science class that humans were just too smart for God.
You were taught in science class that humans were too smart for God. No, you weren't. No, I just don't believe it. I mean, or you had some kind of really bad teacher experience. No. You're making it up. I'm not going to use the L word, but you're making it up.
God was something that humans created.
Yes. Humans created God. Then all the trouble started.
In school, they showed us movies like this. Maybe an older version of this movie. This is Cosmic Origins, from Big Bang to Humankind. And let's give a listen to how they think life on Earth started.
And this here is freaking awesome. This is like a flashback, to the old PBS channel stuff, or whatever you want to call it, right? But dude, this is like really old. This is like stuff I was watching when I was a kid, and I'm old. See them gray hairs? See them? Gray hairs. Very depressing. But it means I'm old. All right. And so's this video you're looking at. Probably older than me. And we got Mice joining us. Hello, Mice. How you doing? And check the chats. Like I said, it's hard to look at all the different screens at once, but I'm managing without a producer. We get it all done solo here at the Captive Desk. At the Night Watch. I'm getting better at pointing. At the Night Watch.
Millions of years, gases from volcanic eruptions accumulated into a thin atmospheric veil that enabled a crucial ingredient to form: water. In time, the atmosphere became saturated, and it rained. It rained and it rained. Liquid water collected into lakes and oceans, dissolving minerals from the rocks. The chemical elements essential for life, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen, were now in place. What was needed was a way of combining them. Perhaps the energy came from lightning. Whatever it was, energy managed to arrange these chemical ingredients in just the right way to make long molecules like proteins and DNA. Perhaps the energy came from lightning.
Oh, I really have a problem with what he's highlighting here. It doesn't mean anything. It's just how they worded the documentary. But yeah, go ahead. Here we go.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Perhaps the energy came from lightning.
Yeah.
whatever it was.
I like that phrase, whatever it was. Maybe it was lightning or whatever it was.
It's an energy source, okay? When you feed energy into the system, it helps spur on these reactions. So you can have lightning, you can have thermal vents, you can have different ways that feed in this amount of energy to super energize the activity, so to speak. I don't know the technical terms for it, but yeah, energy is good. When you have energy, it does good things. So it doesn't matter what it was. It really doesn't. We may figure it out, we may not. But energy is energy, and energy in is what is needed. So where it came from, I don't think really matters other than just, the curiosity of it.
Basically, they do not know, but yet when you listen to scientists speak about evolutionary theory and where life began, they speak as a matter of fact. But here they say whatever it was.
Well, okay, you're talking about abiogenesis, and then you jumped into evolution. There's a surprise. Okay, don't do that.
Some scientists don't fully know where life on Earth came, and then they come up with bizarre theories like this one. This is Richard Dawkins, a well-respected scientist and, I guess...
Oh, no. I should have a bingo card for this. Oh, man. Mage, good to see you. Hello. Checking the trying to I said I gotta flip over, make sure I'm checking the chat here. Yeah, good to see everybody stopping through. Or whatever it was means the script writer for the documentary is saying he doesn't know for certain. Yeah, it's and I don't think it matters really. I mean, we know pretty much that energy in, so whatever the energy source was, then and there's different ideas. I can't even name them all, but I know, yeah, things like lightning and thermal vents, and they force activity in on the chemical level, and that energy in forcing that activity can spur on lots of interactions. And when you have lots of interactions, things start to form bonds, and they make little things that get bigger and bigger and bigger. And there you go.
philosopher among atheists, and listen to his unscientific reason.
Richard Dawkins is the philosopher among atheists. No. Richard Dawkins is, I think, a retired now biologist. He taught biology, and he authored books expressing his opinions on religion and evolution and things being what a lot of us have problem with is things being taught in school that are pushed into a science classroom that don't belong there. But I don't think he's a philosopher in any way, really. And he's not like speaking for the atheists.
Where life on Earth came from.
At some earlier time.
Oh no, expelled. Oh, this hack job garbage totally ruined Ben Stein's image for me movie. Oh my. Okay. Oh no.
somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very,
Yeah, there it is.
very high level of technology, and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. At some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very high level of technology, and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet.
You're not going to do it again.
At some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization...
You're going to make me fast forward on you.
...by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very high level of technology, and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet.
I haven't done a lot of science in my life. I did do some advanced science in high school.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And this is a hack job. I was a Ben Stein fan. I thought he was a pretty smart guy and whatnot, and he at least played a smart guy on TV, right, or in the movies. And then they totally did this hatchet job on this Expelled movie. Richard Dawkins was asked a hypothetical question if he could see any form of intelligent design that brought life here. And so he answered, well, I suppose if somebody evolved somewhere else, they could have came here and brought life here. There you go. That was the end of it. Doesn't mean anything other than that. It was a hypothetical question, and he answered it properly. If something evolved somewhere else, became advanced enough to travel the stars and went to another planet, maybe they left some microbes or intentionally brought their animals or something and let them loose.
But that to me sounds more like science fiction and not science.
No, you didn't listen to him at all. All you heard was the alien part. Yeah, see? Dang, man.
What does God say about the question of where we came?
I don't care what God says. I think that ear blast was rude there, man. Fix your volume levels. Dang. Made me forget what I was going to say and everything. Good night, Pixie. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. Yeah, win Ben Stein's money, I mean, I like that and everything. And, sometimes people do something really stupid like this Expelled movie and just totally ruins the buzz. You're just like, oh man, you're just an idiot, or at least a sellout for money, one or the other, Yeah, in panspermia, it's like, why not? I mean, if nothing else, they're finding like amino acids and stuff on space rocks and everything, and they could have dropped stuff off. There's all kind of ways to look at it. Some think that there could have been stuff started on Mars or somewhere first, and then meteors from there, from an impact or whatever, came over here, and I don't know. It doesn't matter that either way it happened, because Ben Stein was asked a hypothetical question and he answered it. So you can, I know Dawkins has said some controversial things, and I'm not here to defend any of that, but doesn't matter who it is. If you hatchet up what they say, it's wrong, no matter who they are, right? And yeah, where did that life come from? Well, again, it's explained by some evolutionary means, right? Dawkins is an evolutionary biologist, so that's where life came from. whole galaxy is going to have a similar makeup of materials. Marx believed in a real God. Don't really care. It doesn't matter what people believe in. You can believe in just about anything, like Bigfoot. Believe away. It doesn't really mean anything, though. Yeah, and again, where did life come from? It like I say, again, it seems to be there was some kind of energy that spurred on accelerated chemical activities that formed some kind of bonds, and then some kind of a chains, and then you get more complex. I mean, they're trying to figure it out. There's lots of universities that have origin of life studies, and some of these things we just have to see what they find out. But it seems to be, and you can go back to like Miller-Urey or like the space rocks coming in. If you have the amino acids that are the building blocks of just about everything, then why can't they just be built? So it seems all you need is some kind of energy in to spur it on. And it seems as soon as the earth cooled enough to have liquid water, microscopic life took off all over the place. So it seemed like everything was in place. It just had to all come together. At least that's the way I understand it. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me. That's fine. But the way I understand it, as soon as there was liquid water, which just about coincides with the microscopic fossil evidence they find. So, it seemed it didn't take much. As soon as we had liquid water, everything mixed up. You had some kind of energy source. Maybe it didn't even take a huge energy source, just something. Maybe just the tides or something, who knows? And life took off all over the seas. So we know it happened, and we know about when it happened, and it didn't take very long. Now, more advanced life took a long time, but the microscopic fossils are like 3.5 billion years old, so it happened pretty quick. And we can't explain the tides. Tides go in, tides go out. You can't explain that, right? Classic. Same with Carlson. Was he on Rogan or something or whatever? And he's like, there's no evidence for evolution. No. Just done. There's just none. Nobody. No. It's just done. Shut up. Who made you a scientist? What else? Want a huge energy source? Planetary impact resulted in our moon. Sure, that's a big energy source. Tori, official question. I love it. I'm getting it all tonight. Thanks, everybody. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel? Basically because I got a big mouth, and my wife said for many years that I should have like a radio show or something so I could talk about the things that I guess she was hearing me talk about way too much. So I was also in a lot of the chats, and I was critiquing people on their content, and I kind of said, that's kind of unfair that I don't have content to get critiqued back. So I set up the account, and I was thinking about it, and you know, which way I wanted to go with the channel and everything. And then Bread of Life, Rebecca at Bread of Life, had a thing going with Atheist of the Month, right? So I was Atheist of the Month. So, you know, I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, I should give you a little certificate. Got your name on it. It's pretty cool. So it's all, you know, it was fun. So I didn't have a setup or anything, nothing like that or whatever, but I turned on my phone and I hopped on her stream. It was the first time I was on YouTube. I just hopped on my phone. I just said, hi, you know, it's me. And she, oh, hi, nice to meet you. And because I was only, you know, in the chats, right? So that was my first time on YouTube. So being there and then talking with some of the folks there, one of the guys, Brian, said, well, hey, if you want to get something going, I'll come over and chat with you, because we had been talking about miracles. So there we go. My first video was talking to Brian, and it was because I was kind of thinking about things. Then he just said, I'll come on. And I said, okay. So there we go. And then since then, I didn't want to be in a rut, you know? So I try to do a bunch of different things. It's just not going after the creationist stuff. And, you know, I do my Bigfoot stuff for fun, you know, and we do the live streams that are things for fun. And then I do, you know, some of my serious videos where I do a serious takedown where I do a lot of research, pull all the papers up, you know, and I do a serious video. So, and I've got some of my microscope videos. When I get the microscope out, I turn the camera on and record it. So I'm due to do some more of that too. I got to hook up. I had it right over here. I got to hook it up, and it's that time of year. I will get some pond water out or something, see what we can find in there. So yeah, you can find a little bit of that. And then I also have done a bunch of interviews too. So it's got to be like 20 interviews or something, where I just have people on and yeah, just talk, you know, it's kind of the get to know people thing. Because I was just mentioning earlier that a big thing that when people talk to each other, you know, you find out that people are more alike than dissimilar, right? And, you know, yeah, you believe in this religion or that religion, but almost 99% of all the other stuff, we're all doing the same things, and we're, you know, a lot alike. So I like having those talks, and then doing things. Then it brought up, you know, you start making YouTube friends, and then you start getting into some collaborations, and, you know, you have somebody on your channel, and then they come on, or you on their channel, then they come on yours type thing, you know. So then you start doing stuff, and then people start asking you for stuff. So I get into other things like Deconverted Man asked me to voice God in one of his videos. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll voice God. I want that on my resume, right? So I'm up there with George Burns, Morgan Freeman, and all the greats. I voiced God in a video. So that was pretty cool. And then I've done bunch of collabs with people. I sang Christmas carols. If you want to hear me sing, the Shaken Fist did Christmas carols, and we all contributed us singing, and then he mixed it all together. So there's Christmas carols over there. And then Deconverted Man has done some stuff, and he examined the captive desk with MS Paint and everything, and he dissected me. And then with all the Bigfoot stuff and everything, because, you know, I got a Bigfoot shirt on. Most of the days of the week, I got a Bigfoot shirt on. It's just turned into a big Bigfoot thing over the years. And I like doing the cryptid stories too. So I got all the Bigfoot stuff going on too, right? And then, so Zach, back to Zach again, the shaking fist. He recently did a video and it mentioned Bigfoot. So he got a hold of me and he asked me, can you do a cameos, a couple, you know, little video clip of you just reading a book and then look up, you know, like somebody said Bigfoot, right? Like I overheard it, right? So I sent him a couple of different versions of it. He goes, man, I like those so much, I'm going to use them all. So it's like I look up and then I kind of look around, like, you know, each time, like I keep, you know, hearing something. I'm like, what is that, you know? So yeah, I'm getting called into for Bigfoot stuff. I'm getting called in to play God. And then I also narrated The Lobsterist. So if you want to hear me do some narration, I did that. So yeah, a little bit of everything. And I hopefully I don't get in a rut because I'm always doing something different and I'm always up for doing collabs with different people. And so far they've all been just a blast. Did the one with Joe as well. We did the 10 bad apologist list or something like that. We all picked one, and I did God's Mysterious Ways, I think. That was a fun one. And then, yeah, doing all the other stuff. Like I said, I see Purple out there. Purple does the Christmas marathon. I've done that 2 years now. That's a lot of fun. Working with everybody over there. Carrie Ann's got a new thing going. We're trying to help her get going over there. Mark Reed's friend of the channel. He's been on the Captive Desk. Producer Wes, if you'd want to narrate a vid I'm doing, I'd love that since the voice suck. Yeah, as long as it's, you know, as long as it's something reasonable, you know what I mean? I'd glad to help out. Get a hold of me on my email. It's allhailbigfoot@gmail.com. Get a hold of me. Let me know what you need. We'll do something. Let's see. I think I got all caught up. Just somebody. Okay, you guys are having a discussion there. Yeah, I love. You know, I love doing stuff, and you know, I've got a voice and a face for radio. So, in any of the voice stuff, you know, yeah, I'd like to get a little portfolio going, so to speak. So if somebody asks me, I can say, well, here's some examples of stuff I've done, right? So that's cool by me. I mean, as long as you don't want me to read a book or, you know, a really big book. Okay. All right, let's wrap up the Canuck here and see what he has to say.
Came from and who started the earth. The only way we can know is through the Word of God.
Yeah, when you ask who started the earth, then you're going to look for one of the mythologies that describes a who creating the earth. Again, you're asking the wrong question. You should be asking what, not who.
Now, I know many people watching this video will mock the fact that I'm referencing the Bible.
Well, maybe in a minute.
But that's how the Christian knows the origins of the earth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I'm going to mock you. The Bible's not a science book. Okay? Even a lot of believers and the theologians and everybody will agree the Bible's not a science book. If you're trying to read it as a science book, you're reading it wrong.
Let's go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse
Let's
1.
go back.
In the beginning, there was God.
Yeah.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We need to know that God is an eternal God. He's not created or made. He has always existed, and he was there in the beginning, and he created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, that's what you believe, and that's fine. But that, where are you going to go with it?
And as you read there in Genesis chapter 1, the
Mhm.
whole chapter, you see that the earth was created in 6 days.
Yeah, and that's when you're going to get mocked because it's ridiculous, okay? The planets take a long time to cool off. Again, like I said, of course, you had the collision, but basically, if the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and there was liquid water at 3.5 billion years old, that's a billion years of cooling off.
You also see that God spoke, and creation was brought about out of nothing.
Oh, so you believe everything came out of nothing. Well, isn't that ridiculous? I mean, who would believe everything came out of nothing? Because that's what we've heard. I don't know how many videos tonight that end everywhere else that atheists are the ones that believe everything came from nothing. But you just said you believe everything came from nothing. And that just makes it all worthwhile. I really appreciate that.
God is a sovereign God over all things, and he speaks and things happen because he's a sovereign and holy God. God, on the 6th day, creates male and female. In Genesis chapter
Dude, what's with the cuts? Those are terrible.
1, verses 26 to 28. Humans are made by God, and we're specifically made by God in his image. We're made in the image of God, which means we're different than the rest of creation. I as well think of Psalm 139.
And see, I heard somebody explain earlier that just means that in the image of God means we have the ability to reason and things like that. And then I would have to apply that back to there are other species that have higher levels of cognition than just, simpler animals. So this is really weak too.
Verse 14, where David says that God has made him, and because God has made him, he has worth. David says that he is fearfully and wonderfully made.
Mm-hmm.
God has made each one of us, and he's given us a purpose.
Well, actually, that description was describing a certain person that would become a prophet or something, was individually, specifically knitted in the womb. Didn't say everybody. It said that person. As far as I remember, that's what it says. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was just speaking about that person being specifically created and knitted in the womb.
That we might know the God who made us, that we might know Jesus Christ.
That makes no sense. Because you believe that you're knitted in the womb, which again is obviously metaphorical, and then you're jumping to this other conclusion. Wow. I put away my string and my tacks too early tonight. I have to keep them out.
Because we are made in God's image and
Yeah.
made by God,
Okay.
it shows that we as humans have worth. We have a purpose. As well, we'll be held accountable by our Creator. First, we have worth.
Well, what are we worth? Just to worship God? Is that what we're worth?
Our worth is that we can know God, we can experience God.
There it is. We're our only worth is to worship God. That's what he's saying.
Our worth and our purpose is that we live for God and live out his commands and continue to spread his grace and mercy to.
I don't think it's the grace and mercy. I think it's the wrath and the hellfire. Could be wrong. But that's what I think.
To the world. Finally, we can know this deep love of God through his Son, Jesus Christ.
Is this the guy that says if you don't hate everybody, even your own life, you're not worthy to follow me? That guy? I mean, he said some nice things, but he said some pretty awful and warlike and type things, bring a sword to separate family members and not get them all arguing about who has the right religion. I mean, he wasn't always such a nice guy. Depends which verse you read.
Jesus Christ came and died in our place so that we could have new life.
Yeah, and I don't get any of that. Jesus died for sedition because he was a troublemaker. F around with Rome and find out. And that's what happened. All this other stuff is added to make a great martyr story, which I understand martyr stories are made that way. But that's all it is. It's a martyrdom story. That's not why he was executed.
That we could experience God's grace. Jesus Christ came 2,000 years ago. He came to show his love.
Okay.
He came to die in place of people.
No. According to the beliefs at the time, they thought he was the Messiah. And the Messiah wasn't supposed to die. The Messiah was supposed to do a bunch of things. That's the idea of prophecy. A prophecy saying, you know what? Someday you're going to die is a terrible prophecy. I mean, it's very accurate, but it's a terrible prophecy.
Who have rebelled against God the Father, and not only that, they haven't appreciated many of God's gifts that he gave to his creation. But Jesus Christ comes anyways, and he dies and bears the punishment of God for their sins so that they can experience eternal life. Today, if you're...
And that I'm sorry, that just never makes any sense. That some person that you created somehow with your spirit splitting off into Jesus is somehow sacrificial atonement for everybody. It goes right back to Old Testament stuff where they were sacrificing things because God liked the smell of burnt flesh, and that somehow appeases God's wrath and everything. And then ultimately, though, you had to have the ultimate sacrifice. And as people often point out, it's not really a sacrifice if you're God, right? I mean, it's just it's like us making a video, like a BS video, BS Lewis, he just made this little video thing about this little imaginary you that went through this bad couple of days, and then you're magically healed again. But is it even real or anything? Because somehow it just seems like the Trinity thing is just a projection of God, of himself as man walking the earth, right? So it's still just God. So God was just pretending to say, oh, this hurts. Oh, ouch. Oh, me. Oh, I'm dead. Right? Because it's God. It's just... And this is when I start to laugh. And then believers say, oh, you're so mean. You're laughing about Jesus. And it's like, because it's ridiculous. It's God who got beat up and crucified. That's pretty puny, God.
You're outside of Jesus Christ, or even unsure of who Jesus is and if he exists, you can go to the Word of God. You can even look in the Gospel of John and ask the Lord to speak to you through his word, and that you will see. And God's word will reveal to you his great love for you in the gift of his Son. If you're a Christian today, you can be sure that God has made you.
Okay, well, I guess they stopped talking to me because it went to the Christian part. That's the end of the video. Oh, boy. Well, I appreciate there. I did have a few chuckles. I thought the other one was much better. I was laughing. It's a little sore over here on my jaw. That other one had me laughing a lot better. I thought this guy would do better. I had high hopes. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was having high hopes because I know other channels have covered him. So I thought he would be a little more worthy, a little weak there. The Canuck, was it? I can't see the little print there. The Christian Canuck. Yeah, that's pretty weak. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, not to sound lazy or anything, but I don't think like some of these videos required the effort to make a review video. So I thought I would just get a bunch of them together here and go through them all at once. And I've got a bunch more. I'm going to wrap things up for tonight because I went over 3 hours. Although it was great. A bunch of people we got 20 people here, man. Jeez, this is just awesome. Appreciate everybody stopping through. Yeah, we got Aunt Jur. Aunt Jur, how you doing? Good to see you. We got Top G. All kind of great folks coming through. Good to see everybody. And just so everybody knows, in case you didn't hear, I've got a video out, got a post up. We're going to start Saturday night at the Atheist an hour early this week because Joe's having his fundraiser for the ARC protest and Joe's friends of the channel. Joe and I have done a bunch of stuff together. Got to support Joe in his efforts as best we can with in any way that we can, right? Everything counts. You go like one of his videos, that counts. Okay, support him in any way you can. But if you can't get to the protest and you have a couple bucks, maybe kick a few towards the fundraiser. They've got a lot of great folks that have donated stuff, provided funding, equipment, people, and everything. So it's just, in the end, there's a few expenses that are going to need to be covered. So that's all they're looking to cover. So if you can help out, it'll be greatly appreciated. If there's some way that you can donate time and go there, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you can go to the protest, again, greatly appreciated. Lots of ways to support. Joe's also got shirts out. So you can get a t-shirt, the ARC protest. It's like a hand and the boat's going down, something like that. And he's got the sponsors on the back. He does have it in orange. So, I'll be getting me an orange one. And pink and blue, I think, are the other options. So, yeah, you can get yourself a shirt now. He's got... if you need yourself a t-shirt, maybe just, get a t-shirt. That'd be great too. So yeah, we're gonna do things early, a little bit early on Saturday, then so we can all go over there and everybody can give Joe center stage, so to speak, let him have the floor. And I guess the plan is a bunch of the people that are going to be speaking at the protest are going to make little guest appearances and have a little, thing to say or whatever, and he's going to rotate them through over the evening. So that's the plan over there. So Saturday is going to be a long day because, of course, we always start out with Hive Sci, and if I'm up extra early, sometimes Sci-Fi with Chris, and then we set up to do our show. And then Joe's going to be doing his thing, and that'll probably be going for a good couple hours. So Saturday, hope to see everybody a lot on Saturday, I guess. Right? So yeah, that'd be great. And then once again, getting me up to 500 subscribers, much appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. More than 500 is cool too. And because of that, I also have memberships now. So for 99 cents, you don't got it, don't worry about it. If you got 99 cents and you want to have some fun with the emojis, as promised, there's Bigfoot emojis. And any more that come, they're all going to be Bigfoot. Maybe we'll sneak in some other cryptids. With the members thing, maybe that'll be something we can do in the members. Maybe I'll put up a vote, and we can have the members pick which new emoji or something like that. All right, we'll have some fun with the members, okay, and get y'all involved because we've got a bunch of members now, thanks to some folks like Stop the Stupidity and Jasper buying some memberships and gifting some memberships. We have some members, so we got to do some member stuff, and we'll do a member stream. I'll find something to do in a member stream. See what we can do for member stream. So yeah, well, that's something else too. I'll do some polls for the members now that I got members, and see like when you would like to do a member stream and some of those things like that. And we'll let you decide, and we'll do it, okay? And that'll be part of the perk, so to speak, of being a membership, all right? We'll get this. I didn't really fill it out while I just started everything. So we're going to refine things a little bit. So help me out. If you got any ideas, tips, what we should put in for the members to do or whatever, you're the members. So, give me some feedback, what you want to do, what you want to see. We'll do all that kind of fun stuff, okay? And other than that, appreciate everybody coming by. Let me see. Look. Oh yeah, we got the emoji in the chat. Oh man, that's just so awesome with the emojis. Excuse me. You always got one wheel that doesn't want to cooperate. Jur's up, yeah. Well, see, that's another reason I was thinking of doing some of these the Night Watch. Hang out with some of you folks on the West Coast, and like Mark Reed is here, because he's over there down under, and a lot of the times don't sync and everything and stuff. So yeah, Mark, same thing, Mark. If you want to stop by some evening over here, morning for you, afternoon. Well, it's afternoon for you. Yeah, we can do something. Like I said, I'm going to start doing a couple of these evening shows, so that works out a little bit better for you folks and everything, Get a hold of me. We'll have you on, we can do something. That'd be great. Geo Sam, hello, Geo Sam. Always a pleasure. Catholic, yeah, I would, but Catholic, we've been going on for a while here, and I got to wrap things up. But I'm going to do more, and we do Saturday night at the Atheist too. So either way, why don't you come back, catch me a little earlier, and we'll have you on and have a chat. Okay. I'm saying goodbyes right now, though. I'm not to be rude or anything. I'd love to, really would, but been on for a while now. But I'm not going anywhere. Hit that subscribe down there with a bell, and you'll get notified when I'm on. All right. we'll see you then. All right, cool. And like I said, I am checking the chat. So you notice I checked it. Somebody accused me of not reading chats one day. Now I can't read it all, especially when you're doing stuff. It's hard, and folks know that stream. It's a tough thing to do. But yeah, and once again, stop the stupidity. Totally awesome. Thanks for making my evening. Thanks for the memberships, and I hope everybody enjoyed the emojis. And like I say, we'll do some member stuff and everything as I get it worked out. Yeah, it's hard to debate in a chat. And like I say, I welcome people to come by. And like I say, if you want to get a hold of me and set something up and talk or whatever, I say my email's on my channel, and it's easy to remember. I say all hail Bigfoot all the time, right? So if you remember, I say all hail Bigfoot. Just put the gmail.com on the end. You get a hold of me, all right? Or you can find me on Discord, Captive Desk. Same as on YouTube. Pretty sure I'm the only one. If you have trouble finding it, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. So Captive Desk on Discord too. If you're over there, you can get a hold of me over there too. Yeah, welcome people to come on. I like to have discussions, but just not right now when I'm wrapping the show up. That's all. And let's see, I just want to scroll through the chat here real quick. And yeah, dropping them emojis. Appreciate it. Love it. Love it. All hail Bigfoot. Purple. Thanks, Purple. Always good to see you. And I think I got back through everything. All right. Yeah, it was great to see everybody. Yeah, a lot of folks. I didn't know if anybody's going to be around, but we had like 20, still almost 20 people watching. So yeah, that's great. So that means I'll do some more of these. I've got plenty of these videos in the queue, and I love kicking back here and catching a little buzz and having a good laugh at these things. And I hope you had some laughs watching too. Saturday, an hour early. And what else? Oh yeah, well, usually I run my stuff, but I don't have all the things set up. But all my ads will be run for everybody. Will be done on Saturday, so I'll have all that stuff set up. This was just kind of winging it, but when I do it more, I'll have things set up better. I'll have the links and all that kind of good stuff. So, and with that, yeah, thank you again, everybody, for joining. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks for the subscribers. Thanks to the future subscribers. If you're watching this in the future, hit that subscribe with the bell there. I appreciate it. And you'll get notified. Like I say, I'll try to do some more of these night ones. And, we also, most of my times, if I hop on during the afternoons, it's with Speed and Mike and Scott. Speed, known otherwise is Mike, and Scott and the good folks at Answers in Atheism. So we do a lot of that stuff too. So you can catch us having those discussions, all that good stuff. Subscribe with a bell so you know when I'm on and who I'm on with. All right. And Mark, you have a good day. The rest of it, folks, have a good day, good night, good morning, wherever you're at. And let me see. I'm going to pull up my intro and call it a night. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. I just need to get a producer to do these things for me, and I'll be good to go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
Without a sound, history speaks in tales of lore, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk, hold our dreams where reality and all myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the